Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we? Welcome, one and all, to your back Backlash and Raw review. That's right. You're getting double the show tonight. Double the drama, double the madness. Lots of questions. I think we've all got to bloody answer, and survival, because Jesus Christ, we all need to survive. Just putting on some music because you know the rules. But I'm making a disclaimer, and I'm not going to repeat myself. So everyone in the chat that's watching this, I'm throwing it on you. This is your responsibility, not mine. Disclaimer. I want no mention of TNA, New Japan, AAA, CMLL, AEW. I don't want any mention of GCW until I cook those bastards in a minute. I want no mention of any other organisation, including WCW and ECW if you want to go back through that, until the very end of the show. This is a WWE review. I am sick of people, and I'm sorry, but this is true. I am sick of people who come in here and make very fair comments, but then they automatically have to go and mention another company to try and expedite their point. If I see any of that tonight, I'm not fucking kidding. If I see any of that tonight, your comments are getting deleted. And if you do it again, you're getting timed out for 5 minutes. Until the very end of the show. You argue with me, you're gone. I want to have fun. Because someone needs to. But I want no mention of any other company. If you have a point about criticising or praising these organisations, then just stick to just the one company. You want to talk AEW, TNA, anything in Japan, we'll do that at the very end when you guys get your Q&A session, because that's how it works. But for the remainder of the show, I kindly ask that you respect what I say. You respect my wish that we don't do this. Because some things matter. Disclaimer over. And I had to get that done, so I apologise. But, Maria, your comment in the chat, you're always here. Hello, how are you? I would like to make a very special... Hello, James. I don't know if you managed to hear my disclaimer, but I'm throwing it on you. If there's any comments about any other promotion except WWE tonight, their comment gets deleted. And if they do it again, they'll get timed out for 5 minutes. I'm here to review WWE. I'm not here to review AEW. We can do that as a part of the Q&A, because I like Q&As with you guys. Just filling up the glass with some Pepsi Max, because you guys know me. I love Pepsi Max. Just caught a disclaimer. Understood. See, James, you're always my guy. You understand. This is not promotion hating or nothing like that. It's simply, if you're going to come in here and you're going to praise or you're going to critique something, stick to what we're talking about. Not bring up something, oh, they did this because it's another company. No, we're not doing this. It's cheap, it's embarrassing, and it offers nothing except it gets people annoyed. And quite frankly, I do not want to annoy you. You guys don't want to annoy me. We want to have fun. How hard is that? Okay. Right. So, let's begin with the most important thing first. Something that really does matter in the world of professional wrestling. the shock and tragic news that came out a couple of days ago. We're now finally going to discuss it on this channel, and we're going to do it right here, right now. So I would like for everybody in the chat to raise your fingers and pay respect to this great man, courtesy of the wrestling business. We pay tribute to Sabu. In fact, I'll lower my seat, make it easier. Sabu, we pay tribute to you, sir. Billy, I'm not gonna... Well, good evening to you, my friend. Fernando, good evening to you as well. Catherine, good to see you. I'm saying this to you guys once, and I ask you very nicely. Rewind the start of the show. When I bring up the disclaimer part, I'm asking you both nicely, please go and listen to the disclaimer. Because, quite frankly, Billy, you know full well how annoyed I've been recently. So, I ask kindly, listen to the disclaimer, or you just don't take the piss tonight. We're going to have fun later on, but this is what really matters. And the reality stands in. So in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, yous have all been amazing. So if yous can just, as yous have done, thank you, Catherine, for the finger, James as well, Billy, 100%, thank you. This is what matters. And yes, Catherine, exactly. Stay on topic. Now, I know some channels obviously have done some big respectful tributes, and actually for this moment I'm going to turn the music off just for a second. This channel obviously is renowned for its tribute shows. If you don't believe me, go back and look at the Scott Hall tribute, look at the Psycho Sid tribute that we did for his career as well. Obviously we did one for Scott Hall when he passed away. We did one for Bray Wyatt, and we did one for Terry Funk, because obviously they were both sadly on the same day. Because of the review, obviously I'm not going to be able to do a full tribute show. Not in that elements, but I think just for everybody, I think the greatest thing that we can do is just in the chat and myself give our favourite moment of Sabu's career and our favourite match or matches. I have 3 that stand out, because picking one is hard for the great man. But my favourite Sabu moment will always, for the test of time, just because it holds true. For me, my favourite Sabu moment of all time was when the lights went black in the ECW arena and he was behind Taz. Just to prove how much of an amazing moment it is for me, I actually have that as an edit. So I'm actually going to bring it up for you guys. Let me see if I can get my hands on it. Which means I'm going to have to really annoy myself. Billy, thanks for that, mate. I appreciate it. Let me just connect my phone 2 seconds, because you can barcode scan this nonsense. No, I don't want that. I want this one. Right. Pair 2 seconds, guys. Upload. And what I'm going to upload... should still have it. Where is it? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that choice. There's actually nothing wrong with that. Strange. Hold on. I thought I had it. Where is it? I did do an edit of this. I'll be really annoyed if it's not saved. Like, I'll actually be really angry. Ah, there it is. Good. We're fine. We're fine. Hold on. Will you behave? Thank you. Good choice, James. This thing's really doing my head in. That was a great match too. That match doesn't get talked about enough. Like, seriously, that actually is it's an underrated matchup. Do this again. Okay, right. Let's get this quickly, because I want to get on to the next part. Phone's just decided it wants to be a dick all of a sudden. Why is it not It's clearly right there, but it doesn't want to upload it. Ugh, okay. I'm just going to bring my phone into the stream. 1 second. This has been a real dick. Hold on, guys. I'll upload it this way. There. That should be it. Yes, there we go. And it's gone again. Of course it does. I swear this phone is like a fucking Roman Reigns match. A pain in the arse. Sometime today, phone. Nah, it's not even letting me do the edit. It's not actually letting me upload the edit. That's ridiculous. Oh well, but basically it's the stand-in face of Taz looking at Sabu when he returns, and it's just that big stare down. But this is a good match because Cena actually is forced to work. And he hasn't worked at this point. Yeah, my phone is like that, yes. This was the first match in a long time that Cena was forced to work. And I mean seriously work. Favourite moment, Sabu putting Cena through the table. Raw before Vengeance. And the match against Abyss and TNA. That's one of mine. My other one is obviously the Taz match. And then... Nah, Android's better than iPhone. Fuck the iPhones. But Androids just have a pain in the neck moment. What I was saying there was, so the match against Abyss, 100%. The match against Taz, and then because I've been lucky to see it, and it's just pure. It is honestly just pure evil. But the match against Terry Funk, it really is special. Thanks, Maria. Oh, yes. Without a shadow of a doubt. He nearly failed as well, if you look at it. It nearly went wrong. Alright, Zodiac, how are you? In fact, can someone do me a favour in the chat? I'm just going to remove this banner for a second. Can someone in the chat just reiterate to Zodiac what I said, just so Zodiac knows? To be fair, Zodiac's a good one, so he won't cause an issue. But if someone can do this for me, I'll appreciate it. The full thing, Catherine, not just 3 words. It's instructions. You gotta make sure that you can handle instructions. I think he's good. These are good. These are good folks. And I do mean that. You guys are good. These are really good folks. Thanks, James. That's exactly what I'm after. But the good thing is you can do it at the very end of the show. So, Catherine brought it up as well in the chat. And it's actually a concerning thing. Yeah, Billy, that's fine, because I asked you guys a question. I did ask a question, so I'm letting them off. I asked what your favourite Sabu matches are, and your favourite moment. Alright, Fletch. But yes, we're not talking any other promotion until the end of the show. This, on the other hand, I will answer because of the circumstance, which makes no sense. Apparently he was given kratom, which is a pain management drug. Circumstance being, if he was given this but he was not in the best of health and he was not in the best shape, he should not have been in that ring. Now, I wasn't there live, so I can't give you a live crowd reaction, but I can give you what I saw, and what I saw was just simply horrifying. And I don't think you can really justify why you would force someone to go out there if they're not fit and they're not capable to go. Bear in mind, this guy literally just retired, and instead they're like, yeah, fuck him. If I know a lot of people are very unhappy about this, and I'm not going to dismiss what they've said because their emotions are very true and their feelings are real. 2 different things. If Joey Janela, Brett Lauderdale, GCW are responsible for what happened to Sabu and it led to his death, I'm saying this now and there might be repercussions for this, but I don't care. And before anyone replies, oh, you're being a hard man, I'm not. I'm saying I don't care in the circumstance to what happens to myself. What I'm saying is, if it actually comes out true that they were involved in his death, that company should be blackballed and they should be removed from the wrestling business. That's all I'm going to say. I don't need to threaten people. I don't need to abuse people. I'm just saying, for the sake of someone's life, if it comes out that they actually were involved, then they got to fuck off for good. You got a Hero of High Roll for the show. It's a card subject to change. Do I look like Link on a day off? I'm still hungover from last night. I didn't drink last night, but Raws and Tots came out because wow, that's one way to put it, Smooth. That's one way to put it. Yes, it's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. Scott Hall level in terms of effect? Yeah, just ask Ailey. We did the tribute show together. We were we were shocked. Like, we were really, really shocked. This one hurt. Like, this one really hurt. I know, I was winding you up. But yeah, hold on, I will send you the link. Because you can actually do me a favour as well. If anyone else wants to join, by the way, to review these two shows, you are more than welcome. No, I disagree with that, Smooth. I slightly disagree. Not in a bad way. I don't think necessarily... Because there's wrestlers who are in very good athletic shape in their 50s that can go. I think if you're getting close to... Like, if you're, like, late 50s, then absolutely you should walk away. Is he? That man can go. Right, where are we? There she is. I think realistically you should go up to about 50 to 55. Like a standard job. I would say 55 is fine. If you're in the good physical health, like Jushin Thunder Liger, for example, that man was invincible for his age, for how he moves. I think that's the right call. I wasn't actually going to bring that up, but that's a good point. Mark Jannetty is absolutely fucked if you look at his body. Like, with all due respect. Yeah. Same with DDP. You know why? Do you know why? How was that AJ Styles versus Finn Balor match? All I'm gonna say is wait till you find out. Because we are gonna get to that. Don't worry, we're gonna review all this. I think there's a lot of words I can use, but I'm gonna let her do the talking.
All right. I really wouldn't let me talk about it. I've jumped on for a chat with you this evening because, like I said, I fell off at Backlash and I haven't fucking bothered getting back on the horse. I know what happened. I just genuinely do not care.
May I say something? May I say something before you carry on?
Yeah, go.
Just for disclaimer, guys, we're only talking WWE until the very end, when you get your Q&A. Second of all, we give our finger salute to Sabu. Rest in peace. I don't know if Ailey saw much of Sabu, but I'll ask obviously Ailey in a second. And then lastly, I did not make Ailey feel this way. She's been saying this for best part of a couple of months. I'm not kidding. Like, this is not me. She knows my point of view. I stick by it. It's why our show works. This is the genuine Ailey. Genuine. So
I mean, I'll be with you for like an hour or so this evening, and that's mainly because
perfect.
I've been up and down, but my throat decided, you know what, it wanted to clear up. I mean, so we're all good on that front. Okay. Can I say something about Sabu and not sound like a dick?
You can say. No, of course, absolutely, yeah.
I'd love for the people in the chat, please do not jump down my throat. I'm not speaking ill of the dead here at all. Now, I have never seen Sabu in a full match. I've never seen Sabu in a full match capacity in terms of a match that he has worked where there have not been gimmicks involved. I've seen things from ECW. I obviously saw when he popped up in AEW. There are parts of Sabu that I've seen, and I am familiar enough with him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, that's honestly fair.
Now, honestly, looking at what Sabu did and what he has done, and even looking at that retirement match in a nutshell, is how do you say it and not sound like a dick?
You can see that there was something wrong.
That's surprising that he has prematurely passed on. Based off of everything he put his body through. And you wonder why I hate hardcore wrestling. I find it shocking that people are shocked that he has passed on when he has, you know? I get it, and I'm sorry, Pinchy. I'm sorry. And like I say, all respect,
she doesn't mean,
and it's not.
She doesn't mean disrespect.
It's not point scoring. It's not disrespect. What I'm saying is, if you support hardcore wrestling time and time again, can you really be that surprised? I'm not getting on at him in that way. What I'm saying is, there has to come a point where you ask the question: is the hardcore wrestling worth it? When you have someone who could have easily lived 15, 20 more years, but they put their body through this and that and everything.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not speaking ill of him in particular, and if that's what he wanted to do, then great. He lived his dream, and rest in peace. Absolutely.
He became that later. He became that later in life.
Cases like this that make me it's uncomfortable for me to watch modern day hardcore wrestling and stuff like that now, because you see what happened to these people, and you even see what happened to people like Terry Funk, who did live a lot longer.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a personal attack on Sabu, and I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, nobody is.
It is a sad situation.
This also is, to be fair, this is another fair comment. Ailey's actually said the same thing about John Moxley before. Like, that's not a joke. Like, she said the same thing. She does worry that it'll get worse.
Darby Allin. I said, I'm not sure Darby Allin will still be walking when he's 40, Because say Joey Janela is a young Sabu.
I don't think that's I think that's possible.
I don't know, because I know that we talk about wrestling and we talk about wrestling critique. I think at best Joey Janela is a wannabe Sabu. I don't think Joey Janela has even the same level of appeal or the same level of
wrestling ability.
Yeah, like his athleticism's not there.
I also think
going through the hard stuff and the hardcore stuff because it's what he can do. There's a reason why he's not going to be employed by a respectable, one of the big fish anymore. It's because they know his level, they know what he's about.
Yeah, that's true.
AEW only let him go because they realized they didn't need him, and that's just how it went. So I don't think Janela is like that, because I think right now, if you gave someone a young Sabu, he would be employed by one of the big companies, and it probably would be AEW. Just for the style of wrestling, I don't think WWE would necessarily. Again, if this is what Sabu wanted to do, and if it is, and clearly it is, because it's your career, you should chase that dream.
What's up, Maisie? It's what he became. It's what he became. It's what he became. But like before that, he was like. So he invented the things that pioneers like Mick Foley and Terry Funk would eventually go on to do, and like the ECW guys, but. Sabu basically started all that. So like you look at like the broken table spots, or you look at the clever use of barbed wire. It came from his uncle, the original Sheik, but then it stemmed down to Memphis wrestling, because obviously Memphis at the time was one of the best territories because they did a mixture of everything. But it was also the sense of Sabu wasn't just like an extreme wrestler; he was actually a very good worker as well.
What I'm saying as well, like he's capable of doing it. He didn't really get a lot of chances to do it because obviously, if that's the attraction, you do the attraction. But
absolutely,
Sabu is capable of having a match without the gimmicks. Joey Janela is not. At least a good match.
I agree. I agree. No, I agree.
Gimmicks. So I don't think Joey Janela is a young Sabu. I think he's a wannabe Sabu. I think he chases that limelight and he chases that buzz but he's not good enough to actually merit it, and I don't think he's going to be good enough to get it. As for why Joey left AEW, just to quickly talk about it, Tony Khan did the thing. Sorry, I know I just mentioned his name, and someone said don't mention him.
No, it's I was mentioning for the chat specifically because the chat likes to divert conversation. I don't want it. Carry on. It's a question.
He froze Joey Janela out the same way that other people were frozen out before their contracts came up and they were released. Joey Janela just stopped getting booked. His contract expired. He went to GCW.
It's Barbed Wire Massacre. Barbed Wire Massacre. And to be fair, I'm going to say this. TNA have only done... I'm just making sure I get my numbers right. I think TNA have only done 6 Barbed Wire Massacres. And only one of them was in actually a word, like a match that lived up to the exact word. Massacre. And it was that one. Abyss versus Sabu, Turning Point 2005 is the only Barbed Wire Massacre match that TNA have ever done that actually works. Every other one, shoot them all in the head. I'm not kidding. Shoot them all in the head. Anyway, I digress. Carry on.
I get it. I get it, Smooth. I feel like there's a line to me sometimes of like how much are you willing to put yourself through.
I'll leave us till the end, Fletch. I'll leave us till the end.
To get the smile on everyone's face, you know? Like, you want to impress the crowd. There was a comparison that my Lord and Savior made. Mr. Jim Cornette. He was talking about, I don't remember what the match was exactly. It might have been Hangman and Swerve, and he compared it to like a Looney Tunes bit where Daffy Duck like blows himself up, and he wins like more approval from the crowd from blowing himself up. But then he's like, okay, but what can I do now? And there's always that element of it for me. Like you go too far, and all of a sudden, and I think that's also where we start getting things like cheering for the furniture as opposed to the personalities involved.
I think that's fair.
Because these matches are hardcore, not because we actually care about the people who are involved in them. As I say, that is not what I'm saying about Sabu. A lot of people cared about Sabu. They deserve, he merited that because he was a legend and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we need to watch what people are doing in the modern day and how much they are willing to risk for our entertainment because it can have that effect. What
I agree.
Isn't having an effect on me at the moment is WWE because I've fucking checked out.
Absolutely.
You would have seen the argument I was having with Keen, right?
Oh, I swear to there's a reason I'm going to let you obviously go through this, right? But I'm just going to say for a disclaimer, guys, just for a disclaimer, I refused to answer. I didn't refuse to answer. I refused to get involved. And the reason why is because what Ailey did pretty much schooled the situation. Whereas I would have probably just lost my shit and would have said, seriously, can we just start recognizing that shit right now is bad and there's actually nothing wrong with saying this. But again, doesn't work. But Ailey isn't just a very smart person, ladies and gentlemen. She teaches people, right? She gets paid to teach people. So I'm going to unpay her, because I don't pay her to do this podcast, because no one does. But I'm going to let her teach you what she did. So back to you, co-host, whilst I make sure that all the predictions are correct.
I just want to point out Stu saying that, that Looney Tunes episode does actually exist. So good, I actually got the reference, right?
Oh, it does, yeah. It does, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the idea with me for hardcore wrestling. Like we got to watch how much we actually do and everything like that. So basically, I was trying to think when the last time that I didn't bother watching a WWE pay-per-view was.
It was a Saudi show. It was a Saudi show last year because we were like, we're not fucking bothering.
I went back and watched it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, you traitor. You traitor.
I did go back and watch it. And yeah, because that was was it King of the Ring last year? One where they
Yeah,
decided.
that was shit. The
No,
ending was hot. The ending was
no, we
horrible.
watched King of the Ring because it was awful.
Yeah,
But
so we did. So what was it then?
what? Yeah. Anyway, look, there was a show a long time ago. I get the feeling I at least watched every pay-per-view in the Roman reign, and I
Yeah.
definitely watched all the Cody shows because I wouldn't miss Cody. So I think we're going back to before Roman. Like we're maybe going back into the pandemic where I just didn't bother watching. WWE's
Maybe.
kind of on that level with me right now, where I honestly I just don't care about it. And the reason that I don't is because well, they're not giving me anything to care about. I mean, everything that happened at WrestleMania just
Yeah.
sapped my enjoyment. And
Do you feel, just out of curiosity, I'm also starring you guys questions. If you've got any questions that's not WWE related, I will star them. We'll come back to them at the end. If you've got any questions regarding what we're discussing, which is Backlash and Raw, or just WWE in general, drop them in and we'll bring them up and discuss. I just wanted to ask you just a genuine question, and because obviously I know obviously there's a whole variety. I mean, I watch a whole much more variety, whereas you generally prefer and stick to WWE, which is completely fine. And you'll watch the G1. You've always said you like watching a G1, even though that's a bit
I check
madness.
I check into it.
Yeah, but see, in terms of WWE right now, I'm not going to say name 5 things you can change because we've already done that and it really bugged you because you're like, fuck, I have to really think about it. But
Yeah.
when you look at WWE right now, are you that close to just saying, I really want to just skip the rest of 2025? Because I'll be honest, I'm on the simmering point. I haven't watched SmackDown in like a month. Well, close to a month.
Probably gonna just check into like big pay-per-views and cards that interest me, but no, anything headlined by this John Cena low blow is just not actually worth your time. And that's the weird thing about it, is that it genuinely feels like it's not worth your time, and it's because there's no actual jeopardy. When you do Cena versus Orton as your main event a month after Cena, well, 3 weeks after Cena's won the title, you know that John Cena's going to win that match. There was no jeopardy. There was no danger there. I feel
exactly.
like at least a lot of Roman's reign for a lot of his defenses, because they put the right people against him, there was always that element of suspense. There was that element of he could lose it tonight. You know, they could just do it. Like Daniel Bryan could just beat him tonight, or Edge could just win it, or Matt Riddle on a cage match
close.
on SmackDown could just win it. Cesaro could just
he was close.
win it. There were a number of people that were just like, you could just win it. And as a result, we wanted to watch every single one because we're like, oh,
Kevin Owens technically won it in the last man standing match, but they chose to.
Kevin Owens, the time it was Sami Zayn, every time it was Jey Uso, the Cody ones, obviously, when it was Drew at Clash, there was always a reason to check into Roman Reigns defending his title because it felt like, not only like what Stu's saying there, not only could Roman work a main event and it worked and it was exciting to watch, it honestly felt like at any point he genuinely could lose. That's what was so beautiful about this seemingly immortal, never-ending Roman Reigns title run. Is it was on a knife edge at least 20 times. You were like, oh, he's gonna lose the belt. You know,
there was only one time where you and me seriously got really fucking angry about Roman's reign. Like, there's one particular match that me and you consistently agree on was a fucking joke, and it was Extreme Rules. Like, we constantly agree about Extreme Rules when the fucking Demon Balor bollocks happened, because that was They play the Demon Balor music. He gets all resurrected all of a sudden, beats the living shit out of him, then the ropes snap. And I'm like, I don't care what people say. I think it's ridiculous.
I think I prefer that to the idea of watching another match end with a low blow.
I mean, true. What I'm saying is, like, we agree in the fact of, like, they really ruined two things last night. One, they ruined the potential fact of they've been trying to put him back in the main event scene for so long, where it's so good, and we want to see Balor at that point be champion. Yeah. And then people blame Edge for the death of the Demon Balor gimmick, and I'm like, no. What happened at Extreme Rules is the death of the Demon gimmick.
It
like,
is.
That is real death.
Yeah, well, God smited him.
Yeah, like he was like, no, we can't. It's like too early for Satan. It's too early for his rising from the dead. I feel like they could in Glasgow. Not Glasgow, sorry, Wales. Me and Ailey were at that event.
Yeah. Oh, Cardiff was fun. But
good days.
So Roman was able to do it. What you've got with this John Cena thing, though, is you've got a guy who's on a timer already, who isn't going to have the bit. I'm saying it now. I'm calling the shot, and it's not the first person to call the shot. John Cena's not going to be champion in 2026. He's
absolutely
going to fail. Like, because if the whole thing is you need to retire in 2025, unless they extend it so he loses it next Mania and he signs an extension, which would take away all the fact that it's one last time and after this you can't see me. But of course that would be a callback to once in a lifetime, then becoming twice in a lifetime. So let's not completely rule that out. But it's the same way that when Daniel Bryan was claiming that he'll be WWE champion forever. And you just kind of looked at him like, well, you won't, you can't be. And if I don't like you, I just won't watch. But the difference is Daniel Bryan, when he was world champion, was entertaining. Roman Reigns, when he was world champion, was
The Miz done it as well. The Miz done it in 2011. He said people are like 5-time champions, 10-time champions. I'm going to just be a 1-time champion and I'm going to have a run. And I'm like, yeah, all right, mate.
And Miz obviously, had his Intercontinental title never-ending world tour, which actually did feel never-ending, but was also rather entertaining. This John Cena stuff is not entertaining. They're wheeling out old cart horses to lose to him. And they don't even lose in interesting or wrestling match ways. They lose via low blows after Travis Scott. Now,
and heavy spot fest and finisher fest, which I'm sorry, no matter where it is, it's not fun to watch. There's people that are saying these finisher fest, spot fest matches were great, and I'm like, please stop lying.
They can be fun to watch when your finishers. Right, a Seth Rollins finisher fest match is more enjoyable than a John Cena or a Randy Orton finisher fest match. Because John Cena can hit the... Seth Rollins...
Sorry, I need to know. This is a... what a comment.
It's true.
It is... No, it is true, but it's brilliant. It's a brilliant comment.
So, when Seth Rollins has the stomp and he can hit it 9 times in a match, it's at least different ways he can hit it. So, Seth Rollins...
Your buddy Brock Lesnar.
When Seth Rollins can hit the stomp when someone else is going for a pinfall on someone else, can hit the stomp out on the apron, can hit the stomp on the outside, on the steps, can do one from the top rope, and it's a very quick, instant, like bang sort of move.
Yeah.
So if he had 8 or 9 of those, I'm actually okay with it. Punk doing 8 or 9 GTSs is more egregious because there's only one way to do a GTS other than catching the guy, but then you still have to hit it. There's only one way of doing an AA unless you do it avalanche, but even then it's a slow move. RKO, if you catch someone, it's a slow move. The variety isn't there. So if you have a finisher RKO and AA mixed in with milking the punt, and using the STF, but being about the 16th best guy to use that hold, so you
literally
in. I'll come back to that Q&A question, obviously, for the whether I'm here or in the chat. I will answer it. But it's not very exciting, and I know that.
Hello there, Addy. I don't know. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. So, and then you look at the undercard. Fuck.
We're chatting Backlash here, right?
Yep. I'm just going to bring up I'm just going to quickly bring up the predictions because there's actually a very funny occurrence, and I say this in the funniest way. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the winner of the last prediction stream was James. Therefore, James does get the next pay-per-view that's not Saudi bollocks. An actual pay-per-view. He'll be on that prediction stream with us if he likes to come on. But there is another problem. James, you, sir, by de facto, will get 2 streams in a row. And the reason being, sir, is because every single person that did predictions tied with you. So you are de facto still predictions champion. Everybody got 4 out of 5. If I'd picked Gunther, I would have won. Put it that way. But I went for a no contest because I was like, I just don't give a shit. But yes, James,
Becky.
You picked Becky, yeah. Everyone else, but yeah.
Everyone else got 4.
Everyone else got 4, yeah.
Such a shit show.
Yeah, James, I'm not joking. Look, I'll even bring it on screen. Look, everyone tied. Abu, I gave 3 points because he sent me his predictions in the chat, but this was when the pay-per-view started, but that's because he was not available, so I deducted 2 points of him by default. And he's okay with that. He accepted it, but yeah, there you go. There's the prediction stream.
That's mental.
Yep. Only me and Fernando picked Lyra Valkyria.
That's crazy. Nah, I had a feeling Becky was just gonna...
You deserve that, Billy. you deserve that for pure entertainment. Let's see, what's Dusty saying? Cena is my hero, he was the guy. Even I can admit his heel run isn't it. He comes out and yaps for so long. You guys have already covered from his matches. It's not just the matches. I said it, and I know me and Ailey did clash about it, but I was just very adamant from the start. I said Cena's heel turn was going to fucking fail. I'm not holding that as a I was right moment, but...
If the crowd wasn't American, okay?
If the crowd had a brain...
And I'm sorry, and I don't mean it as a personal slight if you're American in the chat right now. But if you were dealing with those European crowds for this entire fucking time, there would at least be more booing. John Cena's been cheered against everybody, while it makes absolutely no sense for him to be.
It's so true.
As soon as he went back to the US. When he was in Europe, they were reacting properly. You know?
I mean, that's because you're in Portugal and you never really got much. You had to travel to Spain to get a show fletch.
That's not very nice. That's a horrible thing to say.
He knows I say it in the kindness of my heart, which is...
What I'm saying is, like...
Yeah, I think
we're more on board.
Ailey will agree with that. I mean, I think her finishing move is crazy, but I admit, I think Sol Ruka's decent.
Sol Ruka's great. So anyway, so on to what Keen said, so firstly,
I need to hear this officially.
So firstly, at like 10:30 the night of the show, he said, "At least there's no Travis fucking Scott tonight."
Thank you, sir.
This is one of those sort of images that preceded unfortunate events. There's a message. At least there's no Travis fucking Scott tonight, and like
I think we'll do this as well. Hold on. Disclaimer: we're not attacking our friend here. We're just we're pointing out something that we consistently talk on, which is madness. Yeah. This is
and they didn't have Travis Scott, but they basically did. They did the same thing. It was almost like Travis was just like, I don't want to do it. Can someone else do it, please?
Exactly.
Could someone else play my role? I have a show. And so they were like, you know what?
Do you know where he was? Do you know where Travis Scott was during Backlash?
Rock's house? I don't know.
He was at the new camp.
Right.
He was on TV watching the Barcelona game.
Right. Yeah. So I get it, and I know that I said Travis Scott was in it, but I misremembered. It was actually R-Truth. So I know earlier I said Travis Scott was back.
Even worse.
I misremembered it. I swapped them round. I haven't seen the show. Leave me alone.
That interfered, and he's got the title match at Saturday Night's main event. But we'll come to that later.
We know that if Travis Scott was there, R-Truth wouldn't have done the thing because they would have used Travis Scott again. So
I agree.
Basically, you know, like he was like, "There's no Travis Scott." And you're like, "No, you're right," but
Doesn't mean anything.
it's kind of the same thing as if there was Travis Scott. There's just not. But it's the same thing. So then what I said, well, he said this, like, I think this was Monday night, right? Or Sunday night, sorry. This was Sunday night.
He said it before. Yeah, he said it on Sunday night because I was I might have been. I think I was either streaming. I was streaming at the time. I was streaming at the time because I didn't see it, and then I came in and I was like, I've got no idea what's going on here.
So 7:15 on the Sunday.
This is going to be funny.
I actually enjoyed the Cena. Sorry, let's first. There was someone else. I don't want to name them because they're not as much of a figure. But they've said the lack of effort in that pay-per-view was insane. It felt like a filler episode of Raw. It was horrendous.
Yep, which is true. He does watch our show. He does watch our show.
Telling lies, as far as this person said, and I don't want to say their names. Don't know.
If he watches our show. He watches our show. He's okay. He's a good friend.
All right. In that case, we'll shout you out once, and then if you want it bleep, just let me know. But Callum said it. And yeah, it felt like a filler episode of Raw. It was horrendous. So already, I was like, I'm not going to watch the show. And then I read that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not going to watch the show. I'm going to save 3 hours.
Yes.
Ian jumps in. I actually enjoyed the Cena and Orton match. Now, you guys may remember that I have come at people before. I've come at you. I've come at Matt Shelton. I've come at other people before when they've said, I like the AEW thing and no one can sway me on it. And what I always say is, no one's trying to sway you on it. But if you think that my opinions are trying to sway you on it, maybe that says more about what you think of it and what you're trying to tell yourself. So, I actually enjoyed the Cena and Orton match. And before anyone says anything about the low blow, I still enjoyed the match. You're not going to ruin it for me. Now, again, I always find that mentality weird. Like we're automatically setting out to ruin things for people. Like, you can in the chat.
Yeah,
you can like who you like. Like there's folk who are like huge John Moxley fans. I ultimately hate him, but I wouldn't say you can't like John Moxley. I'd just say I don't get why you do.
For the record, Ailey didn't watch Backlash at this point, but technically the ending of the match of the main event of the Backlash in Orton's hometown has obviously just been ruined for Ailey. Just for context.
So yeah, basically because I'd read that. I mean, I knew Cena was going to win.
Yeah, we did agree that his entire run's going to end the same way.
Based on the predictions, I knew 4 of the results, and I'm a little bit surprised that Lyra won.
Yep.
But, so what I said to him was, so he said, you're not going to ruin it for me. And it was a laughing face, like, oh, try your best. I was like, well, I'm not trying to ruin it for anyone. Let's just see.
Why would you want to ruin it anyway? Like, that's my job, apparently.
Yeah, well, what I said
because I saw that.
For any sickos in the chat, don't worry. Don't take this stray shot personally. No one is planning on... Because basically, what I find with Keen is that he is as devoted to WWE as sickos are to AEW. And I think it's a scary...
Oi. Fuck you!
It's a scary slope to get to with fandom where you won't accept that something is bad, even when you're a supporter of it.
Yep.
So no one is So this is what I said. No one is planning on ruining it for you. However, it says a lot if you are dropping that caveat before anyone even attacks. Don't fall into the AEW-esque trap of blind praise. WWE is allowed to suck too. It's in a down period at the moment. Backlash was the first PLE I haven't bothered watching in a long time. I just couldn't be arsed. I saw the highlights, and I concluded that I didn't miss much. It could be Cody, Punk, Roman, Steph, Breaker, and more battling at the top of the card, and instead they tried Cena and Orton. It could be a very exciting US title scene of mid-card workers. Instead, it's Temu Bloodline fodder. It could be an enthralling women's division. I'll remind you that the women stole Mania weekend. They don't even put a world title match on the card, or anyone involved in the picture. It's pretty fucking dull right now in my eyes.
Or even a Chelsea Green title rematch.
Yeah, and you know that it's odd for me to be saying it, but it's true. I'm not liking what the main roster is serving right now.
Yep.
That's basically what it's. It's like it's having the wrong effect. Instead of urging me to watch to see Cena maybe lose and order restored, I know that he's retiring this year. So if I don't really care for all this Cena shit, I can just do what I did when Lesnar was around and hold back. I can just return once he loses. I can just skip this season.
Yes, exactly.
He returned with the match was good. I'm not going to leave a low blow, take the enjoyment out of the 30 minutes of the match. If you don't care, that's fine.
I agree. Spot
But I said, so Cena ruining wrestling.
on. Jesus Christ, Dusty, you're worse than Abu.
So in the whole thing, if you're saying like Cena's low blows, the plan is to ruin wrestling. It's like Cena ruining wrestling, which he fucking is. That's Death Rider mentality right there. It's literally killing the buzz. It's sucking the life out, and it's worse because Cena will never be low. He can't do what Roman did. He can't be the bad guy through and through without his matches suffering in the finishes. And no one wants to watch BS finishes for a year again. At least Roman kept it hot because he and his group were good enough, as were his dance partners. It doesn't work the same when it's Cena. And a relief from it is another heel group. Who are the faces? Who are the reliable good guys now? They've all been relegated, and they'll all be plotted out one by one until Cody returns to get it back. So it's just a waiting game. It's weird to me to have all the talent you have available and decide to put that card on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said about it. The card was insulting. And it's so annoying because, and like we were talking about it before as well, WWE basically now, or at least more,
It's in our freaking group chat, Billy. That's why Ailey's discussing this. Ailey's also critiquing Backlash, but she also stuck up for me as well.
It's become the case that they don't, their effort period is done.
That's a good way to describe it, actually. Yeah.
For 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly for 2 really hot years. 23 and 24 were actually really hot years. I would include 2022 in it. I know it wasn't everyone's bag, and I know it wasn't always great. But I would say 2022 to 2024 and the respects of excellence in 2021.
Fair.
They've been on such a great run, and they've won back so many people, and they just think that that's it now. And that might be it now for the stories that they have to tell. And it might honestly be that they've planned to go into a down period, but they've not planned on going into a down period when they're bragging about how much money each event makes. And when
that's
you go
so annoying.
Netflix and then you put your feet up, that's the insulting part. You go to Netflix, your fans are thinking this is the next big thing, it's the next big step, and then you put your feet up, you stop trying.
Lazy
Finishes, awful booking. You're heel heavying us now to the same extent as you did in 2019.
And there's something that obviously another friend of the channel, Ailey's brother Greg, said something that I absolutely agree with as well. So if you want to send this to Greg, because he never hears this enough from me, Ailey, but I wholeheartedly agree with him about one thing that he said. Now, everybody on this, you know this, Ailey, since day one. The chat knows this. I'm a huge Braun Breaker fan. What Ailey's brother said in our group chat is absolutely spot on. Braun Breaker will not main event a pay-per-view for 12 months. But I'm going to add to what he said. I don't think he'll main event between 12 and 18 months. I think Braun Breaker's main event run is fucking dead.
Well, it depends. It depends if his main event, if what you mean...
I mean like an actual singles run main event, not tag teams bollocks, yeah.
Because he could easily be in a tag team main event, and he...
I'm not including Saturday's main event. That's a TV special, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make a difference.
He might be in War Games.
Yeah. But I would say, like, an actual genuine singles run main event where he has something special, it's not happening now. It's annoying
No.
because he was right there. Like, he could have been the guy you built everything around. But no. Hear me out, Trick Williams and Travis Scott as tag champs.
No.
I mean, I've already seen a lot of things, but I'm holding my I'm holding my own in terms of the disclaimer. I'm gonna star this and I'm gonna come back to why this is horrible, because there's another example where it's first hand crap. It has potential. This right. No, please no.
Which one? Seth and Breaker?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't, because
it-
it ends with Breaker turning on Seth. Again, I just feel like
Where's that? Can I pin these comments? I can't. Fuck. How do I pin? Can I pin a comment here? Because I need to pin Catherine's
I
comment.
feel like WWE are just kind of, they're just cruising along. But it's the bad type of cruising. It's like you probably should go a bit faster. He's not.
I mean,
he's not overrated. He's unfinished.
I think. Yeah, he's not polished yet.
He's rough around the edges, but he is a diamond. I think he will be.
I think he's got the potential to be right up there in terms of quality as his dad and uncle actually were. Like, officially, I don't think he'll ever surpass them. I think it'll be very difficult to supersede Scott Steiner, for example. But I think Braun could be better than his dad. But getting to that level, you stick him in this group and you've hindered him. He's basically Diesel with a flat top head and better muscles and can move. And he won't break his knees.
It's like when AJ Styles got
Had
Omos.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's been reduced to. And I know that he's more exciting and explosive than Omos, but he's just kind of the big guy that Seth can sick on people.
He's the muscle, and it's worse as well that he, like, Seth Rollins literally on that Raw episode, because we're going to review Backlash first, but literally
Why
on
did
that.
Breakker agree to even go with Seth?
I don't know. It's not going to get him anywhere. So what you've said then. So you've said this faction has potential, but then you've said if Braun's going to be a singles guy, he has to turn on Seth. So effectively, that doesn't make this faction have potential then.
Yeah, the faction doesn't have potential. It's just more of a waiting game. It's just, we're going to wait for you to turn. But WWE is so bad right now. One of my favorites that I've ever seen in a WWE ring returned on SmackDown. And I haven't cared because I know they're not going to do anything with him right now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Alexa Bliss there, but yeah, Aleister Black, I'm going to say.
Yeah, Aleister Black. And, like, okay, it's fine. And what he's done is fine so far. They haven't put foot wrong. But why do I need to have...
Damn, Fletch.
Why should I keep faith in this company that has gone back to John Cena, that still has Seth Rollins as this, like, really prominent guy that won't go away, but now he won't go away in the worst way, and he made two really, really good guys go away for a while. I mean, Roman's still not back. Punk only just came back. And
it's an embarrassment.
Logan Paul and Jey Uso. We just had Orton versus Cena, and there is Punk, and there's Roman, and Aleister Black's here now. And Finn Balor's around just eating pins for no reason. And AJ Styles basically doesn't matter. And Karrion Kross is benched. And they're not giving people.
And he's the top merchandise seller. Karrion Kross is the top merch seller.
Bother for Street Profits. They're not bothering, but they're not going to bother when Ilya Dragunov comes back. There are like 15 to 20 amazing workers on the WWE main roster right now that could be a really exciting main event scene. And they're not going to do it because the ones that shift the most money are John Pissing Cena and the folk that they can trot out from 15 bloody years ago. And if Sami Zayn does turn heel, who the fuck is left?
Yeah, and I'll say this as well.
Who aren't even there all the time, and Jey Uso, who'll be on SmackDown.
Yep. I'll say this as well, and this is a reality of it, and I'll stand by it because it just shows how pathetic it is. But remember what you said. Now, It did annoy me a little bit, but then yeah, Karrion Kross is the top merch seller in WWE right now, and that's not a lie.
Didn't
Like
ignore it.
that's it's ridiculous that
You
they're actually
just
fucking him up.
ignore it.
Yeah,
Whereas what Karrion Kross should do, because no one's expecting it, is he should choke out John Cena.
I would love that. I would
Just like,
actually.
and then just get on the mic and just go, "I've had enough of your shit, John." Fight.
You know what I would do as well. Actually, first of all, I want to say like what I was going to mention is for those, and if you love the Cena versus Orton match at Backlash, when I come to it, there's going to be a lot of pain for you, and I'll leave it at that for now. But
What more is there to say about it?
yeah, but there's something that you said specifically about AJ Styles going into WrestleMania, and it annoys me because again, AJ Styles is one of my favorite wrestlers, but I also agree with you in the circumstance where he has a specific match,
Yeah.
and he does do that. Cena versus Orton, they've wrestled each other since OVW. Their first their first main roster match in WWE was when Eddie Guerrero passed away, and Cena was WWE champion, fresh on Raw. Orton was on SmackDown at the time. He just got drafted to SmackDown. They done that. Cena wins. They don't wrestle again until when Orton comes back to Raw in 2006. They've had the same fucking match, but pay-per-view wise, they've had the same singles match pay-per-view, apart from the shitty finish at Backlash, since SummerSlam 2007. And yet they continuously go back to this shit. People say this rivalry was generational. I'm sorry, but it's overrated. His best feud, Cena's best feud at that time, was against Edge, because they were actually different matches.
Dare I say that Orton and Cena is like WWE's equivalent of the Old Firm?
Yeah, you can't keep them apart.
Because it happens 7 times a year. You know, that's why it's such a generational rivalry, because they won't let us get away from it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be overdone. And look at the amount of times they wrestled in, say, 2009 through to 2013, for example. It was exhausting.
Also, I don't even think it's going to be the last one, because I think they'll trot it out on a house show.
Oh yeah, they'll do something on the house show scenes, and I actually think, and I'm sorry for all the
do a Saturday Night's Main Event.
I think, well, there's 2 left. I think is it 2 or 3 left? They've got one at the All In weekend.
They're fucking pointless too, by the way. You want to just skip a couple hours of wrestling? Don't bother with Saturday Night's lame event.
I'll be watching All In that weekend anyway. But apparently Evolution 2's on that weekend as well. So if you want to watch WWE pay-per-view, for example, Evolution 2 is apparently on July 12th. That's what. Yeah, I will be watching All In because obviously we'll be covering it. Evolution, I'm not sure if it'll be good because the amount of talent they got rid of that was actually worth watching. But I'll probably watch it back. So
God, I just
what?
How do you fuck up Dakota Kai?
I was wondering how long before you brought her name up, because I didn't want to bring her up because I'm a big fan of hers, but to be fair, there's a lot of talent that have left that I'm a fan of. A particular orange head, to be exact.
You know, she didn't win a singles title in WWE.
Not even in NXT either. No.
She didn't win one. She was an NXT tag team champion.
She had the best heel turn in NXT in my opinion for a woman. She had the best heel turn. That War Games heel turn.
Freebird, she was a WWE Women's Tag Team Champion.
Yep, that is very true. That's actually a good point, Stussy. Edge and even Edge vs Orton was a better feud back in the day because it felt right.
Yeah, here's the thing about a feud though. A feud is built around a story, and the matches are the bonus, which is why Cody versus Roman is a brilliant feud. Because yes, they only fought directly twice. Like, they only had 2 singles matches against each other,
which is rare.
Storytelling the week-to-week promos and the build and the progress and the struggle that Cody put in, and Roman looking down from his high tower, was brilliant storytelling. And the feud only needed 2 matches. You don't need 7, 8, 9 matches in a good feud. Okay, sometimes it works. Best of 7 series do genuinely exist, and they are kind of fun. But ultimately, the best feuds that you see are matches that only happen 2 or 3 times, and they happen 2 or 3 times over, ideally, more than a year.
Absolutely.
Like when DIY imploded, for example, that was a long story they told. And if you forget the 4th match, because even I could admit that was pish.
Braun's not winning the world title, though, Guy. Like, it's over. Even myself as a Braun fan, it's over. The dream's dead.
So you think Braun's going to beat?
He's saying world title. I'm assuming that means WWE title. I'm assuming that's what he means, WWE title.
Braun's going to beat Cena.
That ain't happening. That is not happening.
I mean, I'd be surprised. It's going to be a hard sell.
If they had balls, they would do it, but they won't.
It's going to be a hard sell to make either of them babyface.
Yeah. I will never understand why they got rid of Dakota Kai. And the worst thing is people are saying, oh, it's because of her injuries. I think that's bollocks. I think it's bollocks that they're saying they got rid of her injuries, because even when she wasn't... even when she was on the sidelines, fans were still enjoying her when she was around the scenes, like on TV. Like, her promos were good, her work at ringside as a valet was good, so I disagree with the notion that it was injuries. I think it's bullshit. I really do. Why would you get rid of... Why would you... Like, this is the part that's really weird. You get rid of Dakota Kai. You get rid of Blair Davenport. You get rid of OnlyFans Jade. You get rid of Priscilla Kelly, as you guys know from NXT, Gigi Dolan. You get rid of... There's another... Caden and Katana, your only legit tag team. You get rid of Shayna Baszler. Again, fucking stupid. And... You demote Nikita Lyons from NXT to Evolve. Why not sack Nikita Lyons? She's crap.
Let's look at Smooth here. Mariah is better, though. What's the proof?
I think Mariah May's a good worker. I'll give her that. But in a context of it's different realms.
How are we... does there not get to a point where...
I agree, James.
AEW talent, and it's a case of 7s for 7s or 8s for 8s. Like, they're very like-for-like swaps in terms of star power. But I'm telling you, because Dakota Kai had the notoriety of being around for so long, if she'd suddenly got a main event push, it would actually be... It would mean enough to the fans that I don't think you need a Mariah May. And I think you've got to be careful about just looking at AEW and thinking, what can we take next? What can we take next? What can we take next? Mariah May was on that show for a year to 18 months. Dakota Kai has been with your company for 7 fucking years.
Yeah.
And you did nothing with her. You took away her tag partner, her bodyguard, which was working absolutely superbly. You give that bodyguard a Diesel-esque makeover and give it to Liv Morgan. So you take that away from Dakota Kai, but Dakota Kai's with Damage Control, so that makes sense. Dakota Kai was always an outcast to Damage Control. You never gave her her big moment or her big chance. It's the same way that you let Toni Storm just leave WWE. You didn't give her a big moment, a big chance. And if you don't give these people big moments or big chances, they're not going to fucking stay, or you're not going to do anything with them, and then you're going to have to bin them off. Same way you did with Isla Dawn. Same way you did with Gigi Dolan. You're doing it
Thanks
wrong.
for remembering Isla Dawn. Thanks for remembering. Another one as well, actually. Another one as well that recently has obviously pissed me off, and you know why, because you know I'm a huge fan of her, but... You bring back Aleister Black, so what do you do to appease him? You give his bird the US title when Chelsea Green's been excellent with it. I'm sorry, but what's Zelina Vega done to deserve that title? I'm like seriously. Mandy Rose, if you watch her... Mandy Rose she had the appeal and the star power, but Jesus Christ, she's awful. She's awful. Yeah, I don't know why you bring this moron back.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's
We
the
want
people
a young roster. We want a young roster. He's
the people
47.
the people they bring back are less exciting than the people they consistently get rid of.
A Legends contract for what? She's a legend at fucking off.
Well, because it was part of,
Fucking morons, the two of them. They're an example of bad business, consistent bad business. Yeah, exactly. I've got no hate. I've got no hate on Zelina Vega. Like, Zelina Vega's a really good worker, but essentially Chelsea Green has done excellent with that US title. They shouldn't have taken it off her, but it was
Zelina
horrible.
Vega worships at the Church of Mysterio, so that's why.
I mean, suppose, but reality is it's just horrible.
Slowly turning into a TNA. I don't think it's turning into a TNA. I think in a weird way they're actually listening to the internet a bit too much with some of these things, because what's happening is they're seeing that there's a chance to bring somebody back that wasn't there, because of this like nostalgia pop. But honestly, WWE were just selling X amount of tickets. How many more tickets sell because Rusev's on the card?
What's even worse as well, and this is the most annoying thing, you know WWE is that stupid when their world champion is a fucking moron, and how he behaves on TV and at these stupid media scrums. He's a fucking pathetic clown.
You
Absolute fucking reprobate. And he is your world champion. Honestly, honest to fucking God, man.
It's the fact that they have so much talent available to them, and they go back to the same 3 or 4 people. And it's the same frustration as you have with AEW right now. Because if they just got the belt off of Jon Moxley, you could probably have a quite exciting world title division. I know that people go, okay, so you're not getting your world title division, but why not enjoy the mid card? It's like, okay, well, that's like saying the Premier League's not exciting. Let's watch League One. Like, you just...
That's a fair point. That's a good point.
The Intercontinental titles sound like nothing, but compared to the main event, it's like if these people were really good, they would be in the main event. If they're not that good, they'll be in the Intercontinental title. It's like going to a restaurant because the starters are really good.
Smooth, as two Scottish people on this channel, as we are both Scottish, even we're bloody confused. Like, it makes no sense. I mean, also, I kind of blame Nick Aldis in a way, because that man really just couldn't keep his eyes off in the worst manner. But in circumstance, Isla Dawn's gimmick from NXT was actually working on the main roster, which is actually quite rare.
I don't get why the Unholy Union didn't.
Because
even if you didn't like the Unholy Union, right? They were obviously they were obviously like a dark tag team. So
yeah, and they were fun.
I wonder if there was a dark tag team that had just lost its female competitor.
Oh, I just forgot someone else as well.
If only there was like a Judgment Day or something that could really done with having witches, because that would make perfect thematic sense. But I
just remember someone else who had actually an interesting gimmick, and even though I wasn't a fan of her, they actually blew it. Shotzi Blackheart. If you're looking, you just want some gimmicks, her gimmick was actually good.
I thought Backlash was decent, not great. I like Randy and Cena. John looked much better than he did against Cody. John will look better against Randy Orton than he did against Cody, because Cody is now leaps and bounds ahead of him, and Cody was trying to get blood out of a stone when he was wrestling Cena at Mania, especially because he's come in as this big. Cena fucked him. Like, Cody
Yeah.
was a massive babyface, and this John Cena thing completely fucked him. Because the minute they got back to the US and the crowd started cheering John Cena, and Cody did his best because he turned it and he was like, hey, it's WWE versus John Cena here, and I will be your hero. The fans
Yep.
still didn't care because they were there for WrestleMania and John Cena was there, and they remember when they used to cheer John Cena, so they kept cheering John Cena, and it completely fucking ripped the balls off Cody. Like, Cody's going to be back in the women's division soon because, fuck, like, you know. And,
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if he does a Santino Marella. Here comes Codette. Here comes Codette. Here comes Codette Rhodes.
I don't think it will go that far. You know what I mean? Like, he's got so much to do, and these low blow finishes only make people hate the finish. They're not making people hate. Hate John Cena. They're still going to cheer John Cena until the bell rings at the end of the match. Not even at the start of the match. He's still getting cheered during his matches. You go back and watch Roman. He was getting booed in the middle of his matches because he's a good heel.
I need to ask you this question though. You're not gonna like this one.
We're still on topic, Fletch.
We're absolutely still on topic at 1 hour and 21 minutes. What did you think of that absolute moron Pat McAfee versus Gunther, who's now just been made worse because Pat McAfee showed up on Raw and looked completely fine?
Why did it happen?
Yeah, I need to get.
Why did they bother with this if it wasn't going to lead to Pat McAfee being like hospitalized?
He actually mugged. If you actually look at it, he genuinely mugged off Gunther because when you think about it, fucking. It took so many sleeper holds and finishers and Michael Cole trying to be Bobby Heenan because they wanted to recreate the WrestleMania 5 finish where Rick Rude did a fall over crossbody because Bobby Heenan pulled the Warrior's legs down, but they failed at that one spectacularly. Michael Cole's a fucking cunt. I don't care. He's absolutely useless. But Pat McAfee, He doesn't show up on time to his job because he's getting checked out. But why would you not keep him off TV when he's literally just been battered black and blue by Gunther? He's literally just showed up and he's like, "Hi guys."
He was put in a chokehold, choked out to the point that he couldn't continue his job.
And he showed up.
And then after the match, after the more brutal match, he's absolutely fine. And,
he's literally he's Jacob Fatood.
You know what? Yeah, no telling that.
I'm sorry.
As far as what to do with Cody, you mulligan it. Cody comes back, challenges Cena at the next pay-per-view,
steals his title,
wins the title, and we go to Cody versus the people Cody should be fighting. Like, why aren't we doing Cody versus Punk? Once again,
that's what we should have had.
Versus Punk thing has just kind of been sitting there, and Cody was still sitting there, and Cody versus Rollins 4 is sitting there. Cody versus Roman 3 is sitting there, and instead they're like, nah, we like John Cena. He sells the t-shirts.
Oh yeah, it's a joke. To answer your question, Fletch, Gunther's IC title reign was Triple H, but it was the look and physique that you've got of Gunther now was actually Vince's idea. I want Cena to lose to Braun and put over a new start. I think Cena will probably have a good match with Punk. I'm going to tell you right now, like I told you on the WrestleMania review, like I told you on the Raw After Mania review, like I told you on SmackDown, every John Cena match between now and his retirement, whenever he loses the fucking belt, is going to end the same way. It's going to be low blow, belt shot, you want to stop watching. None of it will be good. And you think he's going to put over a new star?
I just don't
know.
I don't get the point of actively making your show worse to prove a point or to get a story across.
That's a good point, Stussy, actually, because on Raw, Gunther does call his shot. He says that, like, no matter who wins or loses, whoever wins at Saturday Night's main event, no matter what happens, he's getting the return match, and I'm like, it is announced for Money in the Bank, but to be honest, Money in the Bank is still 3 weeks away. Stussy right. We may end up just having another 25-minute Jey Uso World Title main event defense.
Yeah,
which is
like
horrible.
Cody versus Orton is sitting there for ages. Exactly. Cody versus Orton. Cody versus Drew. Cody versus Roman again.
Don't worry, Fletch. I'm on the same essence of you. It's horrible. Hello, Nippin. Good to see you.
Even Cody versus Jay is there because it makes all the sense in the world to do the match.
You've got to be kidding. If it's announced for Raw after Money in the Bank, then Triple H is a fucking moron.
Yeah, Gunther's gonna main event.
Yeah, I have a theory. I know. I have a theory. I know. Since you've said it's announced for Raw after Money in the Bank, I know why it's announced for that pay-per-view now. Because they don't want Jey Uso to lose this title on a pay-per-view. Because they're afraid of riots, and I'm like, yous are absolute idiots. Get the title off him. He's had his moment. Jay's
not losing to Gunther.
He's going to lose it to Sami Zayn, probably. But who wins in a fight between Hulk Hogan and The Rock? The people who smack them both.
Yeah, so as far as Money in the Bank,
it's 3 weeks away. Yes, 3 weeks away. 3.5. 3.5, sorry. 3.5 weeks. My apologies.
Does it matter?
No. It's a dead event.
Well, Seth's going to win it, right?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
I'll
be surprised if he's even in the match. I think he's going to have Punk at Money in the Bank. Because remember, it's not in Chicago. It's in California. It's in California, isn't it?
Is that not enough for them to just do Punk Cena anyway?
I think they're going to wait. I think you'll get Punk versus Cena. I think you'll get Cena versus Punk at SummerSlam.
That does make sense.
Yeah. I don't know where SummerSlam is, but it's being hosted by that bitch anyway, so it's going to be crap.
So what could they do at Money in the Bank that would honestly get you, like, excited? Because I just don't know. Penn will win it and cash in on Dom. Yeah, let's just. I
think. I mean, they're both horrible in the circumstance. I think realistically,
does Sami Zayn have to be heel for it?
He shouldn't be, but you just know they're going to because they're unimaginative, and anyone that goes up against them right now is getting booed, which is ridiculous. SummerSlam's at MetLife. It's just a good stadium, to be fair. My biggest issue, and this is the reality of it.
We'll come back to it, NS.
Yeah, Nippin, we'll come back to that later because, again, we're staying on topic. Finn Balor will not win. I'm going to say this, and if you're a Finn Balor fan, to be fair, we all are, but he's really bloody annoying right now. Finn Balor will not hold another singles title in WWE again. He is officially in his Spurs era, living his Spurs era. He will never be champion again.
Raw was not bad, to be fair.
Abil is good to see you. Raw was pish.
It was
not even the speed. He won't win it. No, he won't win it.
It was nothing.
Raw right now is an embarrassing.
Raw was empty because Raw can only be empty because they've killed all your heroes other than Punk. And all Punk gets to do is come out and threaten people that he's gonna fight at some point.
And he's not done anything remotely interesting in quite a while as well.
Well, I mean, the stuff that led to the triple threat was interesting. I just wish he would call his shot and actually then do it. You know, because if a babyface promises to do something enough times and doesn't do it, you lose faith in that baby. But you lose faith in that babyface because there's no point in caring. And that's it's like the meta level of where I am with WWE right now.
That's the reality. A babyface is meant to be someone who tells the truth.
They failed my favourite so many times. I have absolutely no faith in them. And
see, honestly, I would take Brock Lesnar back just to destroy John Cena up and down the mat. Even if he doesn't win, just destroy him up and down the mat.
But I'm realizing, like, the more that I watch it, the reason that the Cody stuff was such a breath of fresh air was that they were looking at a guy that I saw.
Teen
And it's
dramas.
not,
Wow.
it's not, it's not a massive, like, oh, called it. I'm not even saying it like that.
We're not going to do it like that. No.
But you saw Cody Rhodes. You know, like, Cody Rhodes should be the world champion of this company. He deserves to be the world champion of this company. And eventually they went, Cody Rhodes will be the world champion of this company. What do you get? You get a fucking great year out of him.
Yep. I'll let you carry on. I'll be back in 2 minutes, but you carry on.
Fine. That's fine. But that was the exception. That wasn't the rule. The exception was, we're going to take this guy that you really, really rate and that really, really deserves more, and we're going to give him more. But for the past however long in WWE, that's not been the case. And to kind of bring AEW into it, they have at least given the ball to the people that you wanted to see have the ball. And you wanted Hangman to win the belt, he won the belt. When you wanted Swerve to win the belt, they eventually listened and he won the belt. When you wanted MJF to win the belt, he won the belt. In WWE, there have been 10 to 15 people who should have won the belt at some point, or who currently should be winning the main belt. You know, Karrion Kross is just one example of it, but there are countless almost. People that got really, really hot, and you think, yeah, they deserve a main event run. They deserve a world title run. You know, 10 to 15 names you could probably just pull up and go, they deserve to have a world title run for a bit because they merit it. They deserve it. And we're not getting that now. So what's the point of watching? Because Raw is just filler. It's just complete filler. It doesn't take you anywhere interesting. They're in their Baron Corbin mid-card vortex era right now, where it's just, we need to gain heat, we need to tell stories, we need to gain heat, we need to tell stories. But it's not, we need to give you something exciting that you actually want to watch. And they think that this Penta stuff's exciting enough to draw you to Raw on its own. And it's not, because like I say, it's like going to an Indian restaurant because they've got the best pakora. Like, the starter's amazing. But if the main course is average, you know, maybe go somewhere with a better main course. The main course right now is nothing. They're serving you an empty plate.
Just think about it as well, and this is the part that's actually this is the part that actually hurts more. And here's the thing: we're all professional wrestling fans, right? We always have been, we always will be. Here's the worst thing, and people are really not waking up to this, and this is what me and Ailey say pretty much every show, even when we argue about when WWE's good or when WWE's bad, and obviously we go back and forth in a polite way. But this is meant to be your main event scene as well, and it generally looks like none of them care. They're all phoning it in, because it's like what you said earlier on about they're on Netflix, they've got lazy. This is your main event talent, and none of them give a fuck. Like, when have we ever said that about a main roster for WWE? At any point, I don't ever think I have, but I am now. I generally think none of them give a shit. But the funny thing is, people, and this is, Ailey asked a phenomenal question to me.
Was this the AEW one?
I don't know if it might be the AEW one, but it was also justify what you like and why you like it, and justify it to me.
Yeah.
But you also asked something else that's really important as well, and it's like, why can't you separate the right and the wrong without being like, you know what I mean? You know what you asked that day anyway. But the manner of it, why does it
have to be point scoring in comparison? Why can't we just judge things on their own merit? And
exactly.
I know that I'm drawing the similarity
but it's true.
Cena's thing and the Death Riders, but I'm not saying Cena is better than the Death Riders or the Death Riders are better than Cena. They're both absolute shit to watch. Neither of them are intriguing, enticing week-to-week television to even slightly provoke you into watching. Oh, I need to check that bit out. Like, no. And again, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot by putting such detailed highlights out now. But I don't even think I watched all the highlights for Raw this week. I just kind of read the titles and went, yeah,
yeah. But here's something as well. So obviously, when I'm discussing WWE, I don't want to compare anything to what other companies do. But here's a reality that actually stands forward, and this is actually maybe something that's really pathetic about WWE's situation right now. People really love the idea of long-term storytelling. And you know what? If that's what you enjoy, fair enough. Long-term storytelling is what's really damaging WWE right now. Because they've got nothing to do with it.
Long-term storytelling works best when it naturally comes back up again.
And they are forcing it.
Yeah, this is member berries. This is member berries. That's what this is. This is, you remember John Cena? John Cena's now bad. Aren't we, quirky? Do you remember when he fought Randy Orton? Do you remember when he fought The Rock? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Just go away. I just for some of the stuff that they go, remember? I'm like, no, I don't really remember that, if I'm honest.
It hurts your Abu spot on.
I get that too, but then if people have short-term memory span, start feeding into it. It's like taking something to. So let's say you want to go and you go to one of those places where you can feed the you can feed animal. Let's say it's like the cat cafe. Give you a bit of food for you to feed the cats at the cat cafe. If they give you dog food, the cat aren't going to eat the dog food,
Nope.
Maybe some would, but the cat shouldn't eat the dog food. If people have have a problem with long-term memory, stop fucking doing it. Just go to just tell the story. The Punk and Drew stuff wasn't particularly long-term. Punk showed up to WWE and Drew went, I don't fucking want you here, pal. And Punk was like, well, that's too bad, pal. And they fought over that. And if you didn't know that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre used to be on the road together and stuff like that, you didn't actually need to know that to get involved with the story. With that Cena Orton stuff, you had to know the history. Otherwise, it was just Orton was fighting Cena. You had to know why Orton was teasing the pun because he punted Cena's dad. You had to know all this stuff. You had to be reading the book. And that's the thing that I get on at Tony Khan for. It's the thing I'll get on at Paul Levesque for. Stop making me have to pull out a textbook or study all my member berries before I enjoy your wrestling show. Just put a good wrestling show on that's telling actual stories.
And additionally, stop insulting the fan base by thinking they'll like this shit. Because, newsflash, we fucking don't. We fucking don't. We're on the border of saying the word that maybe actually is relevant. We hate this shit. Literally. The word hate comes up very, very little on this channel, but I'm saying it now. Like I hate a certain name being constantly mentioned. This is a reality of it. It's fucking boring. It's horrific. It's a waste of my time. There's just man of it where they just don't care. And the worst thing is we call it out, and Ailey, what do we get called? What do we get called by people if we call this stuff out? Well, what was it we get called though? What is it we get called? We get called too harsh, not real fans, fake fans. Oh, don't bother watching. Oh, you guys are lying. Sure, Reece Russell, age 28, I'm lying. WWE is perfect. Of course it's fucking not. Like, I can't stand people's bullshit.
What happened?
Hello. I don't know. I had my eyes closed, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
I
I just can't. I looked up and I was just gone.
fuck you, you prick. I'm not 30. I think it is really stupid. They don't know what they're
The
doing.
problem is there's not enough WWE fans complaining about
It's
how
because
bad
they don't want to.
it's right now. It's because they're not.
Stampede. It's this. It's basically Bloodline with no Samoans. It's the same faction, and Braun Breaker's fucked, mate. Trust me, they're fucked.
Catherine is right, but what I think is the case is that WWE are such an institution that it's like if the NFL got shit for a bit. Folk will stick it out.
Yeah,
Folk will say, you know what, it's a bad season for the NFL.
I'm close.
All the top quarterbacks are injured. Bad season, but
Yeah.
we'll stick it out. We'll enjoy what we can of it, and we'll watch next season when so-and-so's back and so-and-so's back and this, that, and the other. It's the same sort of thing with WWE. There are enough people who just go, okay, it's a bad patch, but I'll stick with it because there are things. And this is what annoyed me so much about the Brock Lesnar runs and why Brock Lesnar became so despised for me. Because what folk would say to me is, you can enjoy the other stuff. So I can't. There's this 290-pound, 6'6" shadow looming over what I enjoy. Brock might be taller than that. I just don't.
No, he is actually. You're right. Yeah, 6'6".
Oh, that was a good guess. I know he was 290. I heard that enough times. But there's this huge shadow like looming over. He might have been a bit heavier, just looming over my enjoyment of this show and this thing. And you start realizing, and it gets a bit bleak, because you do start to realize that the enjoyment of this thing that you've got is actually rather easy to sap. It's easy to lose that buzz for it. It's easy to lose the appetite for it. It's a very delicate thing, fandom. But if something goes the wrong way, I mean, look at Star Wars, for instance. Star Wars
Please don't.
They managed to turn basically their entire fan base, and yet there's people still protecting and defending.
Oh, fucking Disney trilogy. Ugh, that's horrible memories.
If the main event and world title scene is bad, nothing else matters, even if the other stuff could be good. Yeah, it's a shadow that looms over your enjoyment of the show. And it's also it's a standard bearer that the people that you really like, well, they don't believe in them. So you shouldn't believe in them. And I've already said the names of the people, but the one that I find genuinely the most insulting is Pete Dunne, because they've done fuck all with him, and he's been there multiple years now, and he's genuinely one of the best workers they've got. He could be a brilliant character, but for the fact that we're in an American fan base and we're European fans in that American fan base. But they don't give Pete Dunne the ball. They've never even tried to give Pete Dunne the ball. Every time they gave Pete Dunne an Intercontinental title match, it was just something. And I remember I felt this way a long time about someone who's a lot worse than Pete Dunne, but it was Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
And I wanted Apollo Crews to win a singles title. And they kept giving him these sort of nearly moments, sort of, but he didn't get it. And then he finally got it. And I felt happy with it. And then they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
I was really happy that he got it, and then they did nothing with it. So I know that even if they do give Pete Dunne an Intercontinental or US title down the road, he'll have it for a couple of months, he'll do fuck all with it, and he'll drop it to a bigger star.
Exactly.
And that's where it gets kind of bleak, because you realise that, they don't have my interests at heart, so why am I watching?
The funny thing as well, and this is what I really despise most of all, is when you look at how bad WWE is right now, You look at how we aren't saying we aren't saying this for clicks. We aren't saying this for the sense of, oh, we're on here, we just want views. It's absolutely nothing like that. We generally want WWE to be phenomenal. Like we want wrestling in general to be phenomenal across the whole scale. But when you look at WWE right now, the horrific part is they are so content with lazy bad booking that they will overcharge you knowing you're gonna go, and then when you guys go, you're like, ah shit, I shouldn't have went. And then we're like, well, yeah, you moron, you spent the money when you could have spent that on, I don't know, a family holiday, or
you spent it thinking about,
the attention really is there. It's dead. It's pain in the worst way, but the reality of it is Sempar, thanks for the comment. He thinks Backlash was cool, just get back into wrestling. This last Mania was whack. The last Mania was fucking horrible. All I'm going to say is the circumstance is it could be so much better. Right, I'm sorry, but okay, now I'm going to really respond. now I'm really going to respond. You don't get the hate.
Thanks for spitting the truth. Remember, I am the
No, you're not.
I'm the main attraction. I'm the main event. Yeah.
I mean, technically, if you look at how well we've done recently, I mean, come on, give me a bit of respect.
I only do this part time. You're basically the WWE. You bring in a part timer when you need more attention.
Shut up! I've actually been doing quite well. I've been doing quite well, but that's funny. The show had a lot of good matches. Cena versus Orton was a spot fest, finisher fest that was boring as fuck. Lyra versus Becky Lynch, the same thing, ended with a roll-up, had no significant impact on a story. Pat versus Gunther was literally just how much insult can we do to pro wrestling fans? 100%. The Fatal 4-Way, Drew McIntyre, you've basically been reduced to an absolute chump. You've basically reduced yourself to a Tottenham fan, mate. And Penta versus Dominic could have been something, but instead they went, nah, fuck it, we're not going to bother, and he loses it to El Grande Americano. Simple fact. Backlash can go fuck itself. I'm fine.
So that AAA show that is still on topic because you just brought up El Grande Americano, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
They're doing a Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the date is, but they're doing a Worlds Collide, and it's AAA and NXT.
AAA is on a show with TNA. That's been announced for for the summer.
Oh,
but
is it TNA and NXT and then?
Yeah.
It's all three of them on that card. Yeah, so that's been announced, but I do not know when.
It's in the July, I think. I'm sure it's July. The TNA talent is the Nemeth brothers and Joe Hendry, is what's been announced for that show already.
Yeah, Reece, chill the fuck out. You know?
So, no need to get heated when I'm telling you it was horse shit. Like, here's the funny thing, right? You know what? Fuck the disclaimer. Ailey had a go at me at this, right? For about 6-7 months ago. And I'll let her off once.
What they say?
It was about AEW and WWE can do the exact same match, but you'll say one's better because of the way you like it in contrast to the other. But that's how it goes. And we went back and forth on that, but it was quite fair. Yeah. Here's the funny thing. You guys in the chat that are very passionate about WWE that don't like AEW, and this is not an attack on you because it's the opposite as well for pro AEW don't like WWE. We all seem to have in common that finisher fests, overdone finishers and spot fests are genuinely annoying, no matter the company. But when WWE does it, it's fucking fantastic. AEW does, it's fucking fantastic. Guys, it's like Tottenham Hotspur in a final. Bollocks. Just stop. It's bullshit.
You may have
Just
to eat
stop.
you may have to eat those words if your team comes.
Oh, we won't lose. We won't lose. We'll be fine.
And just mighty army, you better not lose.
We won't lose. Trust me. We won't lose. I assure you. But I can't stand the fucking just the exact words. To be fair, is what you said about me about TNA at times, but recently that's not been the case. It's blind faith and refusing to call this shit out. If you genuinely think all the matches there was not a bad match at Backlash, I'm sorry, that's blind faith. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of people can. You can throw a lot, and I know that I used to do the E-drone thing over here, but I genuinely...
Correct, Taylor, they won't.
I was at E-drone for the past 2.5 years because I was very excited about WWE.
I knuckled you down.
The E-drone stuff kind of disappeared around the Royal Rumble when suddenly Jey Uso had won the Royal Rumble, Charlotte had won the other Royal Rumble, and I wasn't particularly excited to see either in a main event. So that's why I just went, look, fuck this, right? Like, I'm going to keep watching it. I am still enjoying it, but in terms of like, they need to be like praised because they're doing so well. Well, they didn't need to be praised for doing so well anymore because they weren't doing so well anymore. They were really, really, really bad at the Royal Rumble. They gave us 2 Royal Rumble winners that were fucking shockingly bad. They gave us a really good match.
Yeah.
They gave us a really good match on that Royal Rumble card.
Smooth realism.
Oh, yeah. Also, if I see anyone fucking comment in anything about anything, if you don't like it, don't watch. Like,
psychopath.
I genuinely hate it. I hate if you don't like it, don't watch. Like, fuck you.
This as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck off, Triple H.
Like, see, this is why he gets called an idiot by me a lot because of this. Oh, it's just the internet. I'm sorry, but you're on your social media account as well. You're engaging with people, so stop being a bullshit liar.
He's not fucking leaning into the internet, and then he gets Joe Hendry onto WrestleMania.
Exactly, he's a moron.
We know you pay attention to the internet. You're only saying something about the internet. You're trying to appeal to this whole, oh, guys, remember when you used to love this stuff? I fucking do. I do remember when I used to love it. I used to love it a year ago, Triple H. I used to love it when you were doing fucking well. You want us to be fans but insult us with a crap show, fuck off. That's basically it, yeah.
Spot on, Fletch. Spot on. He loves to grab his social numbers.
The internet isn't real, but this was the most viral moment ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. And
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, guys. We're watching Netflix via the air power.
They do all this stuff about, WWE had this viral moment, that viral moment, the other viral moment. Yeah, okay. So clearly you care about what the internet's saying.
Spot on, Billy.
You literally changed the main event last year back to Cody and Roman because of the internet. So I'm fairly certain that was a shoot.
They're never correct, Semper. I mean, look at the stupidity of WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. They said Night 1 was sold out, but conveniently on Night 2 they had 2,000 more people in the fucking stadium.
Dare I say that Triple H is finding this really difficult. People in general,
it's horrible. If I said that, I would get crucified. If I said the same thing, I'd get crucified. Ailey would have me up. Ailey would have me for fucking dinner.
Triple H, though, what Triple H did and what he said, okay,
with Logan Paul.
To me, what it smacks of, right, is a guy who, as a booker, has never had so many critics.
Yeah,
and I think at this point he is kind of a victim of his own previous success, because say what you like about the audience that NXT Black and Gold had, NXT Black and Gold, unless you want to test my knowledge, bring up something that I don't quite remember about it. NXT Black and Gold never had a moment where the fans were like, fuck off.
Oh, they did have one. They had one.
Where Black and Gold?
Yeah, they had one.
Which?
They put Bruce Pritchard in charge.
No, that was 2.0 though, wasn't it?
It became
2.0.
2.0. That's what I'm saying.
While it was Black and Gold, they were never getting channel-changing heat.
It was all round good stuff. I mean, there was times, obviously, we agreed on this.
Down,
yeah.
It was a little colder. They weren't quite doing things as hot as they needed. One, the expectation wasn't there. So if NXT was the best show of the weekend, that was a surprise at one point because people were like, hey, this developmental brand with all these indie wrestlers is actually pretty fucking good to watch. And then NXT Black and Gold, as a result of the internet, became the most over show WWE had. And kept the diehard WWE fans happy while the main roster stank up the joint. Now, he's got all the pressure of being the guy who needs to stop the main roster stinking up the joint. And he's never had this level of pressure mixed with this level of critique. And that's the thing. He wants to say critics. It's critique. It's you're doing a bad job. We don't like this. We want something else. We don't like that bit. We'd prefer this here. We're trying to guide you the right way and let you know as your audience what it is that we don't like about what we've just seen. If you close your eyes and block your ears to that, that just says a lot about what you, as an individual, your fragility in the position that you have.
Yeah.
He's fragile. If he's
Massively.
saying stuff like that, he's fragile.
And it's also, it shows as well that he really hasn't learned. And in terms of like, is he passionate about the business? Yes. Like, nobody will argue that. He is passionate about the business. But he really isn't learning the fact that there is no shame in critiques. There's no shame in criticisms. If all you say in the circumstances, actually, all we want you to do, please, what I recommend, is just be a fan, don't hate, we're not hating. We're literally just calling out what we don't like. But here's the funny thing, and this is what this moron doesn't understand. We still praise what we like. But he'll ignore that. Like, the guy's a melon fucker.
Yeah, a Bull's making an interesting point. New stars recycle same stories. That's always been wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I've covered before, and like I said to Mr. Matt Shelton, it's all about the time, the manner, and the place. It's
NXT
when
Rampage.
you turn them. And the person. It's
Massive.
where you turn them, who you turn them, why you turn them, how you turn them.
Yep.
Oh, and when. It's all of that stuff. The wrestling for the longest time has been a repeat, has been a rehash. It's the same angles because there's only so many things that you can do in a wrestling ring. When you get too experimental, that's when you end up with the stuff like The Fiend that people didn't really like, or then the stuff with Alexa Bliss chasing people with a doll that people really didn't like when you get too experimental.
Yes.
But when you come across like good standard wrestling booking, it's tag teams turning on each other. It's a guy selling his soul to get the world title that he needed. It's two people falling out over a woman. It's two unlikely allies becoming best of friends and becoming a tag team. And that's great. These are all backbone stories of wrestling. But it's about who does it, and when they do it, and why they do it, and what they do.
Just want to say thanks, ladies and gentlemen. We've got currently 15 people watching, but we're now on 327 subscribers, so thank you all. Like, we really do appreciate this.
You're tripping on this. Without experimental stuff, it's one-dimensional pseudo-realism. No. It depends what you mean by experimental. So it's experimental if someone has a set in the WWE and it's a swing set and they cut a promo from a swing set. That's experimental. That's never been done before. It was also really, really, really shit to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas, like what I'm saying, we don't want it's not one dimensional to do the things that work. Think about your superhero movies. Your superhero
yeah.
movies are basically the exact same carbon copy, one for one, whether you watch DC or you watch Marvel or you watch one that's neither of those two, or you watch any anime that you watch or any show that you watch or anything like that. It's the case that stories are stories and they can only go certain ways in order to still be compelling, but it's how
That
you
is
tell the
spot on.
story and where
That-
you tell that story and why you're telling the story that's important. We're not looking for people to reinvent the wheel when they do wrestling booking. We're looking for strong wrestling booking.
Yeah.
Let me ask people in the chat, did you enjoy Punk versus Drew? If you enjoyed Punk versus Drew, what was the innovative, experimental, brand new, never before seen in wrestling aspect of Punk versus Drew? If you enjoyed Cody and Roman, what was the never before aspect, never before seen part of wrestling that was in Cody versus Roman? You know, give me one feud where there was a experimental, never before seen thing. You know? Punk versus Drew Hell in a Cell was good, but nothing innovative. Exactly. It was classic spots done well by two workers that were working really well to tell a story that was told really well. That's it. There was nothing new to it, but it felt new because it was new things. How do you think the people that write soap operas feel when they just have to write stories about daily life? So they have to write stories about, oh, so and so's pregnant. You know, so and so needs to do this. This has come up for so and so. The police are after this person. There's only so many things that can happen in life, and so many things that can happen with stories.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say that type of wrestling won't happen again, though.
If you're on about the Attitude Era, that is also the thing that has killed the wrestling that you enjoy today. If that's what we're talking about, like the Attitude Era,
He is blameless. He technically is solely responsible though, Billy. You can't use TKO as the reason for WWE's creative being bad. TKO are not the creative echelon of WWE. Paul Levesque is the head of creative. It's him and his team. TKO are just awful with what they do from the financial aspect. In terms of actually running products and running shows, day-to-day creative meetings, production meetings, all that bollocks, that baldy is the one that's responsible. It must be left at his feet. Like, it's his fault. Like, here's a perfect example of why he hasn't learned his lesson. You have an amazing talent, like, depending on what your style of wrestling, but say for saying's sake because he's over with the crowd, LA Knight. Now, it's no secret, I'm a Shinsuke Nakamura fan. It's no secret. But Shinsuke Nakamura came back, won the US title after what? A couple of weeks when he came back. He won the Survivor Series. He came back dressed like the Assassin's Creed ninja character that you're going to see shortly, but also in, like the Ghost of Tsushima. Nakamura hasn't been seen since. Nakamura's not done anything relevant since. And the worst part about it is it fell off on LA Knight's presentation where they put the title back on him, only to then have him drop it to Jacob Fatu. Now, I'm not saying Jacob Fatu is bad at all, that's not the case, but you've basically just wasted LA Knight's turn as well, and you've wasted his time. You should just put the title on Jacob Fatu, right there and then. Those things you must hold accountable for. Here's another one that people must hold accountable. Why wasn't the TLC match not on at WrestleMania? Oh yeah, but that's his decision. Probably one of the best SmackDown matches they've had in a long time. And they still fucking got it in the wrong place. These things you cannot say it's not their fault. It is his fault. He is the head of creative. It's listed on their freaking website. It's listed all over WWE. He's the head of creative.
Yeah.
Now,
this thing I'm seeing here about
so
Bray
bad.
Wyatt. And I loved Bray Wyatt, but
Same.
I was not actually
We
that
miss
on
him.
board with the Fiend because I don't like horror movies and I hate no selling. And this was something based off of horror movies and had a lot of no selling, so I didn't really like it. But remember that the Fiend didn't go on forever. It was isolated moment. And I know I'm not saying that in terms of Bray Wyatt and rest in peace to him, and I absolutely love that man.
Yeah.
I have a Fiend Funko just behind me as well. Absolutely love the Fiend. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. But
I loved his return when we done his tribute show.
For every Bray versus Finn, awesome debut, amazing stuff, this and that. Remember, you got that Hell in a Cell match. Remember, you got him losing to Goldberg.
We got him losing to John Cena, WrestleMania 30 when he should have won.
Alexa Bliss coming out of a Jack in the Box.
Remember that he agreed to have his Fiend character set on fire, which was weird.
Did both Bray and Alexa come out the Jack in the Box?
No, just Alexa. I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched that in quite a while
Bray
though.
enter through it? Is that not how that match starts? Bray's on top of it and jumps down on Orton.
Yeah.
So maybe they do come through it.
But it's one at it's one at a time because Alexa rises up and she's covered in that black paint and she does that hand signal and it was creepy.
Yeah. But it wasn't good though, was it?
I'm just checking what part of your who's your comment about?
It might be.
Who's this about? If it's about Cena, like Cena's washed, and that's the end of it.
People didn't like the Fiend and were telling us how you can't get too experiment. Well, you can. You can't with WWE because it's wrestling, and you can only get so experimental with wrestling before it's not wrestling, and that's what people didn't like about it because it wasn't wrestling anymore.
The Bray Wyatt as well is a special commodity, and this is when people said, "Oh, the Wyatt 6 was going to work," and I said it from day one. And not because I don't like any of them, it's not the case. I said the minute they appeared after that opening segment where they tried to kill Chad Gable, which is probably why he's now El Grande Americano, because that's his delusions. Fast forward over a year later.
Even in the indie era, Toni Storm is the most liked woman in wrestling. I mean, again, that's what you're saying, Smooth. I would argue that Rhea's probably more liked.
She's becoming a problem. She's becoming a problem right now. She's becoming a huge problem.
What I will also say about Toni Storm, okay, so the gimmick and the character's experimental. What was the story they just told with her and Mariah?
Yeah.
Was it best friends turning on each other? Was it long-term friend? Was it a protege turning on the person they were looking up to? Story's never been told in wrestling before. That was a brand new story. I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen a protege turn on the person, their mentor. That's never happened. No.
Your comment was Your comments about Triple H. Okay, I'm gonna read this again. He had the mic skills. As you can see, I need to pause. The problem is, he's an egomaniac. He's an egomaniacal bastard. Yes, he's achieved a lot, but seriously, like, he's a problem.
Yeah, Stampede to it. Toni Storm's a 4-time world champion before the age of 30. I'm not disparaging Toni Storm. She's brilliant. But what I'm saying is, you can't say, oh, this character's so experimental and WWE need to do more of that. Because, one, if every company was doing it, it wouldn't be experimental. And two, it's still within the context of wrestling.
Yeah, which is fair.
Okay, the hardcore stuff isn't to my taste. You know? But, yeah. Mentor versus Prodigy story? That's new. Wow, never seen this before since Piss It Off.
I think, to be fair, I kind of disagree. Rhea did technically get over organically, but what's become a problem now? Rhea's making it so difficult where she's actually not bumping as much now, and she's actually going in a situation where it's becoming impossible to just beat her in a match. Like, it's actually becoming... It's annoying because I like Rhea Ripley, but they're making her a situation where they can't lose anything, and it's horrific.
Do you know who's to blame for the Rhea being shoved down your throat?
Hulk Hogan.
No, it's the mommy stuff. She was heel when she did that.
That's true.
And she choked Dominic, and everyone was like, "That's really hot. I wish she'd do that to me." And she became everyone's mommy, and she leaned into it because she was going to. You know?
I like Jordan Grace, great wrestler, but I disagree. She's not better than Toni Storm as a wrestler.
Imagine if that was missed me out.
That I was gonna say, I seen that comment. That was brilliant. But he turned on him in part. It was part 3. He turned on him.
But what's the point you're making about Toni? I didn't say anything bad about Toni. Her character.
I don't know why we're on that.
Her character is different. It's never before seen. The stories that she's doing are not new.
I think
Ryan turn on friend many times over 4 decades. Never one done in the fashion. But okay, no.
I think each version is different. I think each version is different.
Yeah. They did it differently. It was 2 different people telling the story their way, but it's still fundamentally their story.
Yeah,
you know. So
I think
it's the same thing.
The reality is what's true is it's definitely the same branch line of its friend and project turning on mentor and friend, but the way they went about it is absolutely different, and that's what's fundamentally important. The problem right now, as a whole across wrestling, is if you don't get what you want, people moan. If you get what you want, people still moan. Or you've got people who just refuse to accept that actually there's some things that are fundamentally wrong, but here's a way to solve that. But the reality is, and then you've got the awkward part where there's just blind faith people who will just refuse to call it out. And if you refuse to call it out, this might sound harsh, but maybe this is not the place for you.
Well, she kicked her through a barber shop.
Very 1992. Very 1992.
She didn't have to do all her previous gimmicks on her road to face Mariah. She pretended not to remember who she was, which...
It was actually fun.
If you were drawing comparisons, it's Bayley pretending not to know Japanese to suddenly then reveal that she knew Japanese the whole time. We've never seen that before. There are little elements of things. Yeah, it was good and it was fun to see. That's great.
That's what matters.
Have I missed something? Why are people coming at me like I'm saying Toni Storm shit all of a sudden?
I've got no idea because...
I didn't... Did I say anything? Toni Storm's not shit.
You literally said that. You literally said it when we were discussing WWE getting rid of women. You literally said that you were pissed off they got rid of Toni Storm.
Yeah. I'm not attacking. No, I get that. I'm just confused. Like, did I say something about Toni Storm?
His heel turn is awful. It's done nothing. His heel turn's like his bald spot.
Like, the experimental that I'm talking about is, yes, people can experiment with their gimmicks and their characters and put their own character spin on things, but you actually have you need to have the bare bones of one of about 4. Experimental wrestling doesn't usually work. That's why the big ones get... Do you remember Control Your Narrative? That was going to be very experimental. Do you know why it didn't get over? Because it was also shit.
Yep. Here's another one as well that people want to remember for the right way, but it was absolutely awful. Retribution.
That was experimental.
Since I've already ruined it, since I've already gave up on the disclaimer, here's another one that's absolutely true. I still argue with TNA fans who say that fucking... Larbark, that's absolutely true. It is awful and boring as hell. I still argue with TNA fans who claim that Aces and Eights was a great faction. I tell those people to kiss my ass because it was horrible. And it was filled with people that didn't know what to do. And it was led by an absolute fucking fraud. So, there you go. experimental, trying to get somebody over in a new way, but it just didn't work because nobody wanted it. Because you brought in fucking guys who go, I'm D'Lo Brown, I shake my head.
Now, just to clarify, that's still not me going after Toni Storm. I respect that she has experimented.
Nexus was good until SummerSlam 2010.
I will say, as someone who is asexual, when you watch anything about Toni Storm and she's just dropping innuendos left, right, and centre, that's nothing that I really want to hear on any show or anything. So when it seems to be such a horny gimmick, to be fair, it's the same reason why I didn't really get Mammy at first, because it was all about old choke me Mammy. It's like I don't like it. I'm really not with it.
Yeah, which is fair. See, this is the thing. I don't know. I think only two talents, Potential and LFG, have got potential. But again, potential means nothing if you don't care. Because he's stupid, crap, nearly ruined Josh Alexander for me. Shout to the new MLP Canadian champion. But fuck Bully Ray. The thing is, though, is he's just going to run NXT when Shawn Michaels moves on. I don't think a Nexus works now. I mean, it was fun to an extent until they had them lose to John Cena, naturally.
Punk, Cody, Starks, Page, and Black.
I mean, Ethan Page would be cool.
There's a 5-man group that have absolutely nothing in common. A lot of stuff I don't. Yeah, I get it. I get that. I'm a weird case for that. Like there is, you put too much blood on the screen or say sex too many times, I'm probably not going to watch it. That's just me. I get it. I'm a prude.
I mean,
you know?
I'm gonna say, just for a laugh earlier on, I thought it was absolutely hold on, I need to laugh for 1 second. Oh, please don't. Oh, cool. Bully Ray was fucking awful. He's an oversized geek. Well, actually, no, stand on that. Geeks are cool. He's an oversized cheb. Doesn't know how to work. Can't cut a promo. Can't wrestle. Was carried by a midget. Carried by Devon. Nearly ended Batista and Randy Orton's career in 2003. And stole a living as a world champion twice. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. And don't even come in a chance to tell us how you really feel. I've just did. But in the circumstance, here's the part that's actually concerning about what I was coming back to. No idea. No idea. What's this? Hold on. Sorry, hold on 2 seconds.
That's okay.
Yeah, LFG is actually just a bigger problem as Monday Night Raw. Because now, NXT fans, I'm just talking to NXT fans in general here, it's time for NXT fans to finally say the words, this is no longer a development brand, when you've got NXT Level Up. Well, you're not going to fucking Digivolve, are you? And now you've got Evolve, and now you've got LFG. I do not want to hear the words NXT is a development brand anymore. It's dead. But as for Orton Jr., I've got no idea.
I think it is a developmental brand, but
I think you can't now.
No, it's developmental when you're 6. When you're like 3/5 of the way there, when you're like 7/10 of the way there. You know, I'll remind you that Javon Evans is currently he's hovering around that main event picture. No one.
He is a bloody muppet.
But you know, like people on NXT are still like homegrown products from WWE.
I love this comment. I love this.
That's
This is
all
so
I've
good.
seen of the LFG, by the way. That's all.
I
Every week it's just a clip. Bully Ray roasts young wrestler. I'm like, fuck off, Bully.
he can't.
Or-
Bully Ray can't even roast a chicken.
But it's like, there was a guy where it was like Bully Ray, like a guy started his promo and he was like 7 seconds into it. Bully Ray
Yeah.
cut it off. And then he went, look, I'm a fucking multi-time world champion, tag team champion, main evented this and that. Like, fuck off. Just go away. Like, why are you... This isn't developmental. This isn't helping.
They're exposing the business even further by doing all this. And now you're doing that WWE
Unreal.
series thing. That's the one. That's just as much of a problem. Like, that just shows that they are going beyond anything now. I don't want to care about that. I don't want to see that stuff. And it's just ridiculous.
Orton isn't actually Orton's kid, right? He just looks like Orton.
No idea. It's the most stupid catchphrase that's out there. It's up there with yeet and the other pish. Bully Ray is just a poor man's American Jey Uso that has no Samoan lineage. He's a fucking prick. Worst heel that you can get besides Jinder Mahal and all that crap. Oh, I wish somebody threw him on spikes years ago.
You don't want to see Paul tell Jay's winning the Rumble. That'll be a nice moment to see, but at the same time, like I said before, my issue with Unreal is that it's too much and it's too blatant. And the only people that are really going to get anything of substance out of Unreal are the people who want to do their own booking. It's going to create a new Tony Khan. Now, obviously, that Tony Khan might not have the money, but it's going to create a whole aspiring generation, perhaps, of Tony Khans, of armchair bookers, of people who think they can do this thing, because they'll be showing you how it's done. And I think it's great to show people how to write stories, but not WWE's version of stories, which, by the way, about 70% of them are not very good stories, or don't last very long, or get canned halfway through. The worst catchphrase.
No, I'm still going to say, do you know who I am? Because he thinks people actually want to know who he is. That lard arse has done nothing in wrestling that people care about. I don't care if he's a 24-time tag team champion.
What about John Laurinaitis? If you don't got it, get it.
Or people power. People power.
Figure it out.
He is an app
catchphrase. He was actually using that.
He's still a horrible human being, but
oh yeah, absolutely. But he also has one of the worst catchphrases I've ever heard. What does it even mean?
Actually, whilst we're here, actually, this is actually really interesting. I don't know if you've seen it recently, but there was actually an update that came from, because we haven't spoke about it in ages, which is actually quite a good thing. Oh, wait, what? Alright. Tell me what you think of this before I bring up what I was going to ask, right?
Go.
This is from the JP Morgan conference. So if you want to laugh, then laugh. TKO president Mark Shapiro states that WWE's distinction lies in its high quality, low volume pay-per-view events. That basically means they don't care. Oh, I swear, give me a fucking knife. But there was something that came out recently, because we haven't spoken about it since what happened, because obviously we really hated it. That's true. And then she divorced him because she's seen the light. I feel sorry for you. There's an update that came out from the Janelle Grant case. Have you seen this?
I have not.
So, literally, this was yesterday. A Connecticut Superior Court judge ruled in favor of Janelle Grant in the countersuit filed against her Peak Wellness by Peak Wellness and Carlon Colker, who was Vince McMahon's doctor.
Oh. You should do this more often. Love your taste. I'm part-timer, I'm afraid, Fletch.
That's your fucking message you the other day. Come on. Don't stop.
I'm a part-timer. I'm sorry. The
If you say
don't pay me enough. Don't pay me at all.
I pay fucking no one.
You would think that he would, considering I'm obviously the appeal. You know, it's like we said before. He's the Pecora, but I'm your main course. You know.
Don't shut
I
up.
really hate the way I said that. That sounded vaguely sexy. I don't mean it that way.
That's horrific. That's horrific.
Yeah, he's just there on the side. You're the broccoli, and I'm the steak. You know. Part timer like Brock, exactly. So you can die a hero, or you can live long enough to see yourself become Brock Lesnar.
The ratings are fine on the shows, thank you. Jesus Christ. You guys are insulting.
Exactly. What you don't see is I actually have a weight belt with Reese's mum's name on it right now. That was just worth the reaction.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. No. No, no. You guys are all savages. I mean...
Mama Reece, if you're listening, I'm gonna take this weight belt, Mama Reece, and I'm gonna put your baby boy's blood all over it.
That's fucking making me cringe. Stop it. Oh, that's just creepy. You bastards say I'm not the face of it. I had 1,000 views on a bloody video recently. Give me my respect. Give me my fucking respect. I work hard. Bastards.
We've rattled them now.
you absolute
bastard. Boy, covered in your own blood.
You are all vindictive, evil bastards. Right. I think we've pretty much covered that. I think the circumstance, I think we can effectively cover the words fuck Backlash, fuck Monday Night Raw, because they're an absolute joke. And
I'll cover this weight belt in your blood, boy. And I will
but now,
Mama Reece.
Fuck's sake. But now we're going to have probably the best part of the show, so.
Quanda.
Wait, what the hell does that mean?
he's yeah, he's I think he's doing the punk thing. He's pipe bombing us.
Fair play. I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that.
One. It's the sorry, I thought it was the punk one. It's
yeah, shit stain. See, there's an important phrase. Sons of bitches.
It's the Hogan one, right? Okay.
Yeah, but to be fair though, I'm much better than Bash at the Beach.
And the thing is, I know that I'm more over, right? Because look at all the support I've got tonight, and I'm not even on the screen. I could be on location right now. I could be shooting my new major motion picture, baby. And you just won't be able to get near me. But you love me so much, and I'm basically the microcosm of WWE's issue right now, because I'm the part-timer, not even there in person, and I'm still more beloved. Moreover, I sell more merch, I get more asses in seats. I am the main attraction, and you're just here to pick up the slack when I'm not around.
It's a good thing.
The new Dusty. I'm glad someone picked up on it.
It's so good. It's so good that I can say to paraphrase a legend and to alternatively change an infamous line. I don't do this to be liked. I don't do this to be loved. I do this to educate. Quote the Reece, nevermore.
Got to push her and strap the rocket on her. Hey, no, bad. No one goes near that.
I really don't want to do that part. To be fair, thank you. I want to live. But
right, let's get on to Wakanda forever.
This is where the real fun lies. Because now it's over to you. And before we get any new stuff, we've got about 11. We've got 11 comments to get through. They're all questions.
You've just been compared to Pat McAfee.
I have a fucking soul and a personality. Pat McAfee's got nothing.
Not only that, but you know, Reece also spent his Saturday night getting choked out.
What?
Where do you think I got the weight belt, Mama Rhodes?
Was that a no? No. That's Steelchair after hours, you know, after dark.
Simply put, you should know your damn role and shut your mouth.
What would the Steelchair's like dark like? Oh, barbed wire, like weekly barbed wire Steelchair.
Yeah. Sit down Steelchair. No, that sounds worse. We'll think of that one later.
Well, Steelchair, they should call it stealing a living. Any new updates on Sammy?
That's Billy Ray.
Who is Sammy Guevara? I only watched the real one. No. Any new updates on Sammy Guevara? Since that tweet, one door closes, another opens. Since last week, I haven't heard anything about Guevara.
As far as I'm aware, he's still. Actually, I don't know what's going on with Sammy Guevara.
Adrenaline in my soul. He's going to Cody Rhodes.
That sounds so wrong.
He probably is.
I don't know what they're doing with. him, but reality of it, there's.
I think they realise that they can't really do anything else with him.
Yeah, I think so. For the Q&A, I heard there's an episode of an animated TV show coming out this Sunday of an AEW collab. Anybody know the name of this animated series? No, not that.
Oh, that's not animated.
Not that I've seen. No, not that I've seen.
Looney Tunes?
For fuck's sake. I don't know. Oh, behave. I've already told you that Kenny Omega's going to turn heel. I told you months ago that Kenny Omega's going to turn heel. But All In, no. But he will not be involved with the EVPs. No, that shit, like they'll leave on out, and that it won't be. No, but he will turn heel at the end of the year.
Omega is going to be, Omega is going to be his own heel, which will then give you another. Maybe Omega will form his own faction, and then you got 3 to hate on that show. Because you'll have the Elite, you'll have the Death Riders, and then you'll have Omega's group of.
I think he'll be fine as he is. I don't think you'll really see him
do
much.
He never cuts a promo again. He'll be absolutely fine.
Depends on the promo. If it's a really weird promo like we got about him with 2 pugs, then absolutely I don't want that. But if it's just something genuine to wrestling, then absolutely let me hear it. Gunther's booking really been downgraded. Gunther's booking's dead, like his title reign. His dead existence. Gunther means fuck all right now in 2025. The man got humiliated by Pat McAfee. Gunther should just retire. Hurt Syndicate was getting legal counsel last week. Yeah, I know. Fuck Cedric Alexander. He shouldn't be going there. There's no point for him. He has nothing to offer. You're basically wasting a faction by bringing somebody who's offered nothing to professional wrestling in years.
It's rather laughable to think that Cedric Alexander and MJF are going to be on the same level of star power. Like, no.
Speaking of which, coming back to this fucking clusterfuck. No! 2007, TNA. I'm not kidding. Look at who Ron Killings was teaming with. And that's why I'm saying no to this. That's all I'm going to say.
But what if they make it like cool T-shirts that say "Whoop that fiend"? Will you be?
Absolutely not. That's still shit. I like Fekla. She's a decent talent. The problem is, they should focus on their current roster. I like Fekla.
I read this. I thought it said AEW's latest edition. I was like, they did a Spider episode.
No, they have signed a talent who obviously is coming over for like. They have signed another young talent coming in, but they've been like doing like little teases by because she has like associations like a spider, so they've been doing like spider graphics on the shows during women's segments. But she's actually a fairly decent young wrestler, so it's another good one to build a division around. But in circumstance, AEW should just focus on the current division. It's wiser. Top tip. Because it's actually more effective because they've got good talent there. They don't need to keep adding. Do you think Dakota would do well in AEW? Dakota Kai would do well anywhere. WWE, unfortunately, stupidly got rid of her.
No, I don't think she would. Because
I don't know where she goes though.
Well, you got to look at the people that have moved from WWE to AEW, and have any of them really done well? Outside of Mox,
Tony Storm,
yeah,
Pac, FTR.
Pac didn't. I'm not counting FTR.
You have to. Come on, they did go there.
I know, but they weren't always good. They got pushed as a result of fans like just not shutting up. Basically, like they went. I don't think Dakota would do much. I mean, look at what happened to Ruby Riott. And to be fair, like they put they got Sasha Banks, and she's still holding like the lower tier title.
She has dropped one now as well. She did drop one over the weekend. Who's worse to you? Moose's X Division champion or Cena's world champion? So you've asked me who's worse between domestic abuser or narcissist who held down Nikki Bella and all the talent he worked with. Both of them.
Is Moose a domestic? Oh, I didn't know that.
There's evidence on it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's an absolute fud.
Purely on a wrestling standpoint, I would say that John Cena's worse because I don't watch TNA.
Obviously, Jaws. Jaws would just eat Odd Job. Who got more predictions right at Backlash? We all tied.
Everyone got 4.
We all tied. Which is absolutely brilliant. Between Gunther and Okada, I don't know who got the worst booking. Honestly, you could say both. On different aspects, both of them are in their own way. But it's just ridiculous. Like, they're legit guys. Have fun.
What's happening here? Sorry. I mean, I'm the world champion, is what I've gathered. But
wait, why would I help Ailey? I stand alone. I don't help people. In my universe, Ailey just won the world championship because Reece screwed me over, and James obliterates Reece for it, and then obliterates Ailey and runs away with it. So which one got Money in the Bank?
I've gathered that I'm the world champion.
I'm so confused. Why would that... Wait. And also, James obliterates me. On what army? He's an Everton fan. They're not obliterating anybody. How dare you?
Yeah.
I think there's just a reality. There's some things wrong. Why the hesitation on Tony? She's universally rated of the best overall women in wrestling. According it depends on the circumstance though of what they think. I think the IWC people will either take them seriously or not. I take my own opinion seriously, and I take Ailey seriously. And then you guys, I don't pay attention to the IWC. It's filled with weirdos who love to get over on this show did XYZ for rating. Who cares? I don't get. I'm sorry, brother.
Because I'm a prude and I'm really boring, and I don't like when people mention doing the nasty on telly or when people bleed too much. I get it. I'm the outsider there. I don't like when things are sexually charged, and I don't like when things are violently charged to that extent. That's why I don't like Toni Storm. That's why I hesitated. I don't like the gimmick that she's doing. I think it's fucking uncomfortable to watch. But that's just me, and that's fine. That's why I hesitated.
That's fair.
Ricochet's doing pretty good. Why has he got scissors? Why was that ever his thing? Why was he stabbing folk with scissors? And what's he actually done? He only exists to get beaten tag matches or team with the elite and win meaningless tag matches. Literally, for the first how many times are they going to do these all-star tag matches on AEW and trick you into thinking that these people are over?
To be honest, I'm not sure, but I quite like the dynamic. It does at least hold up a bit of time on the shows, so it does get people on TV. If as long as you're doing,
on TV.
Some of them, no. I mean, the good thing is Orange Cassidy's injured. Sorry, I said like.
Wow, Reece. Imagine. Everyone clip that. He's an absolute monster. This is the guy who thinks he should be the face of this channel. He's actively saying that it's good that a wrestler's injured. Oh,
I own this. What are you gonna do?
Gas my flabber. Unbelievable.
I just can't stand them. Just like Max Caster, I wish Blaster Casterberg was thrown into a canal. I really do. I wish he gets thrown into a canal. Same with Rusev.
Now Omega is back. What sort of proper justice do you mean, Abel? Do you mean Okada gets punished for this lackluster run that he's had, or do you mean that he'll finally start taking it seriously?
We are getting that match though.
Okada has worked in AEW so far like he doesn't care. Like it's diet sugar-free Okada. It's nothing, and he's also part of that.
It's funny how you're saying he only exists for trolling and losing arguments on Twitter. The same argument that technically in the circumstance it proved that Javon Evans is actually a dumb fuck.
Yeah, Okada take it seriously. That I do hope. I hope that Omega gets a serious Okada.
I'm looking forward to their.
Do it now. I'm kind of scared that he can't. I'm kind of scared that he's just kind of taking the money and not actually caring anymore. And I guess we'll only know when we see Okada and Omega fight, and we'll see if that brings.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that match at All In. I really am looking forward to it. I think I don't know if they're going how much time they're going to give them in circumstance, but I think it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah. IWC sometimes regurgitates, I will say that, but IWC, looking at the IWC as one massive thing is actually that's actually the mistake that you're making. The IWC is there you go, Smooth. You beat me to it. There are a lot. Yeah, everyone is in the IWC, so everyone that holds any individual opinion is in the IWC, and therefore talking about what the IWC thinks generally is kind of null and void, which is what you said there. So yeah, I completely agree. Yokem is a special ref in the Natty match for the Crockett Cup. I've seen some of those words before. Never quite in that order. What's a Crockett Cup?
That's the annual tournament that's held in the NWA. It goes back to the 80s.
NWA, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Good. I haven't watched NWA in a while, but I will be watching it for the tournament just because of like what it did give to wrestling. So I'll be watching it for that.
You got to get used to these all-star tag matches. TK likes them, and it showcases talent. But I didn't like them in New Japan, so I'm not going to like them now. There's nothing worse than the New Japan cards where they just went, hey, before we give you the matches for the titles and you want to see them, here's 3 10-man tags and Toru Yano's in 2 of them. Like, no, I don't want to see that, please.
Tell you what, I'm really excited by. Obviously, I watch it. I don't know if many people in here watch it, but I'm really looking forward to the Pro Wrestling Noah main event this weekend because it's literally title versus Noah career. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with that. Like their previous champion, one of their best stars, he loses, he leaves Noah this weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. So that'll be very interesting. I do have a bit of news. I was saying as well, like a little bit short news. Depending on what they're going to do for the end of the year, John Cena's last match obviously is confirmed. It will be in Boston in December.
Brilliant.
So hopefully it leads to him just being removed from wrestling for good, and we never fucking see him again.
I do think it's really it is an experimental thing he's doing, because while he fights the people that he fights in the main event, we all have to fight sleep. So
Yeah.
that's good.
So
If
this
Tony's
is
winning polls for best women's wrestler of the year, despite AEW not being watched, again, if you're winning polls in the IWC, it's a bit of a joke to say that it's despite AEW not being watched. Look at they put it. It might have been 2024. They put John Moxley on the cover of the PWI. That was for the IWC because, and this is one thing I can generally say about the IWC, not to paint them into one corner or the other. The IWC is more turned on to everything happening in pro wrestling than someone like me who is not on Twitter and doesn't watch AEW really all that much, and at this point hardly watches WWE because it's on the downturn. There are people in the IWC who live and breathe this shit, so they'll be watching WWE and AEW. They'll be taking it all in, and they'll be saying that. And there are going to be more AEW fans generally in the sort of louder parts of the IWC because it's a bit more of a sort of meta thing. I mean, you'd have to equate it really to the rise of anime in the West. Like, not everyone likes anime, but the people that like anime really fucking like anime.
That's true. Obviously, I'm not much for ratings in discourse, but Catherine has dropped this in the chat, so I'll just bring it up anyway. So this has come directly from Twitter. So WWE Raw saw a decrease in views for last Monday's episode. This is the 5th of the 5th, okay. The show scored 2.8 million views globally for the week. Per Netflix data, this is down 7% from the prior week, with 5.7 million hours viewed, down 2%. Okay. That's interesting. And then a comment here from Catherine's put from Kenny Omega. We're heading on a path where Logan
Kenny
Paul.
Omega.
So Kenny Omega's comment was just,
promo.
to be fair, this one's actually really to be fair, he's annoyingly not wrong. We're heading on a path where Logan Paul versus Mr. Beast will main event WrestleMania in a couple of years. And then we'll all really, really want to die. Who should Jay face next after Logan? Well, it's going to be Gunther. And then after he faces him again and beats him with a roll-up or beats him with a submission, then Gunther really loses his shit, and then he probably beats up Pat McAfee and his family. We'll then get him versus Sami Zayn.
Surely he doesn't submit him again. He's got to win by pin this time.
Oh no, he'll probably beat him by submission because his brother will probably return and go, I did it for you, Oos.
But that's going to take so much out of the first time that it happened. Because it was a shock that he made him, like that he choked him out in the first instance. So don't do it again. That's going to remove the shock.
Stussy, that no.
Again, not important. The guy, not
no.
Important. Logan Paul's better than Mike Bailey. I agree.
Absolutely no.
That might happen. Logan Paul's winning over Jay. No. Logan Paul's not winning the world title. Sami Zayn possibly face Jay after Logan prick. Yeah, a lot of people say it's going to be Sami Zayn. I just don't. Why do we need to? The point is that experimental is necessary for positive change.
They're not doing it though.
Yeah, but it's got to be the right. It's got to be the right type of experimental. You know, using the internet is not experimental. It was experimental when he did it, but the idea that the IWC wouldn't exist now if Zack Ryder didn't do it is a laughable claim, because time would have caught up and social media caught up and became larger. Got to reinvent the wheel, or else it won't be able to handle all roads. No, I get what you're saying. I don't want things to just remain the same forever, but what I'm saying is you've got to do the right kind of experimentation, and you've also got to be cautious of the fact that some of the most experimental things that get over are not everyone's cup of tea, and then you start trying to alienate people because they don't like the stuff that they're seeing. For instance, this Tony Storm thing, but even going back, you know, I didn't like Broken Matt Hardy. I really didn't like Broken Matt Hardy. Broken Matt Hardy was so experimental. So many people liked Broken Matt Hardy. I was not one of those people.
It only ever worked once. That's just because they were given liberty. Yeah, Guy, what on earth are you talking about? Less
Meg-
smug. What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
don't know. I don't know. That quote certainly has nothing to do with
Like
the.
what? He never said anything smug. He said actually something that's actually fundamentally possibly true.
So Smooth, what's this right kind of realism that you're trying? Sorry, right kind of experimentation that
Which ain't
you're
happening.
trying to get through here. Because outside of people coming up with like individual characters that then get greenlit to be on the show, there's nothing else really going on. Like you can only experiment with your characters so much. I mean, if you can experiment with a character and come up with something that we've not seen before, or something that we have seen before but in a new flavor, that
That is
works.
true.
But you can't just go, well, I'm going to do this because that's never been seen before. You'll be back in the 80s when everyone had a job. We'll have a wrestling dentist, you know?
Fernando, yes, I will be watching it because it's the last televised program that Sabu will ever be involved in. That's Dark Side of the Ring tonight. So the guy's actually elaborated on the comments. He's came back and said he should focus on his own company as ZVP, not smart calling WWE. He hasn't called out WWE at all. He said it at a game con. Here's a fun thing. Kenny Omega is a Twitch gamer as well. He does it with Xavier Woods. They go head to head. At the game con, he literally said, which is nothing wrong, he literally said in a couple of years, WrestleMania could well be main evented by Logan Paul and Mr. Beast. There's nothing wrong with what he's saying. He's not actually. There's nothing smug about that. He's actually pointing out the way wrestling's going.
What the guy said under it though? Why was he
Fucking-
mentioning WWE though? I mean, this is what I've said before. The talent do
He
not
watches
help
them.
themselves. Yeah,
He
but the
watches.
talent
He watches
don't
them though.
help themselves by
The f-
fueling.
He's not feeling them though. He's not. He's not feeling anything though. Like, he's not feeling
they
anything.
fuel the tribalism because he's only brought that up to make people go, "Oh, well, you've done this." Like that's the whole thing.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
He isn't saying anything wrong though. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's purely saying the way the business is actually going, that the likelihood of an influencer main event in a WrestleMania is actually very true. And here's the annoying thing: influencers are getting involved in AEW as well in their pay-per-views. It's really fucking annoying, but that's
Smooth.
where we're going.
Smooth. Shouldn't every wrestler be character based? What's a character based wrestler?
One that you
They're
don't
all
like, but
characters.
yeah, everyone is to an extent. It's just, are they
But
good?
even if they don't have a gimmick. I did not say to it the dumpster. I said we'll have a wrestling dentist. It would be experimental to try it again.
Yeah, and he is an influencer as well. I don't get why people are moaning about this shit. There's nothing wrong about it.
I don't think it's about can't mention mighty WWE. I think it's don't put fuel on the fire that we
But he's
constantly say we do. No.
But my thing is he really though? All he's saying.
It is putting fuel on the fire. Even if he is working, it throws fuel on the fire.
But what if he's just in the circumstance? What if he's literally just pointing at the fact that this is actually where the business is going? Jeff Jarrett on his podcast, literally a week and a half.
But when he's working for the competition, he shouldn't be providing that ammunition because it's just
But they're
gonna
not
feel
work.
more
And
stupid tribal. I'll remind if you want me to do the whataboutism thing because Kenny's left himself fucking wide open. The Costco guys were on an AEW pay-per-view.
that's what I literally said. Like that's what I said.
My problem.
That's what I said. Influencers are involved. They are on AEW pay-per-views. I don't like it. I'm seeing where they're coming from.
Why is
Influencers
he
are
bringing it
involved.
up? Why
I think-
is he bringing up the WWE at any point? It's not a don't mention the mighty WWE. It's don't
He was praising Logan Paul for how he's come into
throw
wrestling.
fuel on the fire. You know,
He was praising Logan Paul for what he's done since he's came into the business. He was praising Logan Paul, and he said that the way things are going with influencers, they're going to potentially main event at WrestleMania.
So
He's not
then-
wrong. He's not actually mugging off WWE.
So then
He's-
it's a quote. So then it's a quote taken in bad faith from whoever's quoted it and how they've quoted it.
Yes,
They've taken a snippet of something
yes,
that isn't the full story.
yeah. All he's literally doing. Kenny Omega has literally just said the way the business is going, and WWE are actually ahead of it in this circumstance with the likes of Logan Paul, the way that influencers are becoming involved. We've seen ISO Speed in the Royal Rumble, God Almighty.
I don't think it's a smart thing to say.
I think all he's trying to state in the circumstance, and this is what I said with Xavier Woods when they were at GameCon together, he was literally just saying the way the business is going, influencers are going to get that level of they will headline a massive event like circumstance, a WrestleMania. And that's why he said it, because they were just talking about it. They were talking about it together at GameCon.
Can be anything. I'm aware that a gimmick can be anything, but when you're talking about being experimental, where does your experimental start and end? You know, is it not experimental to just say a new catchphrase? Is it not experimental to just do a very similar finishing move but do it slightly differently? Do you say that Aleister Black is experimental? You know, I would say there's aspects of him that I'd never seen before. But is it experimental? Or is it a guy with MMA experience using a dark background? Both of which we've seen, and he's combining elements of things that he likes and he enjoys and he, you know, represents in his character. Gimmicks are not as cut and dry as they need to actually seem.
So Xavier Woods with his Up Down Down podcast, his YouTube channel, and obviously they're on Twitch as well. Them Kenny Omega are game testers as well, and they do promote the game cons on their Twitches and their YouTube, etc. So they were at GameCon together, and they were literally going up against each other like classic game style, and they were just discussing the way the business is going, and they just said the way things are going. Kenny was like to Xavier Woods, and Xavier Woods actually, he kind of agreed. He was like, yeah, reasonable. He just said the way the things are going, that someone like Mr. Beast and Logan Paul could main event a WrestleMania against each other. I mean, the reality about it is, and this is Mr. Beast is still the most popular, recognized YouTuber in the world. I'm not a particular fan of what he does, just because I haven't watched him in years. That's why I'm not a fan. But when you talk about what they'll get in terms of viewership, whatever, Mr. Beast would outdraw Logan Paul.
I want wrestling to continue to push boundaries, but what boundaries do you want them to push? Is it not pushing, but like, if you don't call what they just did pushing boundaries, if you don't call 23 and 24 pushing boundaries, I'll tell you something, it worked. It really worked, you know? Like, they didn't really push boundaries. You know, the things that did push boundaries in that time was, well, one of them we've mentioned already, Finn Balor losing to God. That was experimental. I've never seen that before.
Here's a boundary.
I've seen someone lose to God. We haven't seen that happen in that way before.
Here's something that here's something that pushed boundaries, and after that we're going to get out here because it has just gone past the hour, and we're nearly at 3 hours. You want to talk about pushing boundaries? Just ask Triple H. How's Katie Vick?
More hardcore matches pushing boundaries. You know what? That's going to neatly bring us round to the full circle, because what did I say at the start about more hardcore matches?
I'll say this as well. Vince Russo was pushing weird boundaries. I'm not a massive fan of his podcast, but I do listen to the odd thing now and again just for absolute entertainment purposes. And I liked his heel management run in the 80s and the 90s. And his TNA booking at times was good. Go and listen to Jim Cornette talk about Vince Russo's plan for an all-women's wrestling promotion. It is honestly the cringiest, weirdest thing ever, and the one that has me freaked out the most is the one who the woman who will literally have a proctor. Go and listen to that, and then that'll tell you why Vince Russo was overrated when it came to his booking.
Oh my god, I was listening to it again the other day.
I was listening to this afternoon. I just turned on because it appeared and I was like, you know what, I'll have a listen. And I listened, I was like, oh my god.
Even if you don't like Cornette, you should listen to what he has to say about Vince Russo's all women's promotion and Vince Russo's ideas for Shotgun Saturday Night.
Oh, that was fucking horrible.
So bloody funny.
Here, Ailey, would you like a shotgun badge?
Yeah, the Shotgun Tough Guy badge. I'd love the Shotgun Tough Guy badge.
Oh, there's another thing as well.
Rush would make a great Shotgun Tough Guy. We could get giving him any of the real titles.
Who's the guy that does the shows with Cornette?
Brian Last.
Right. There's something that Brian says, and I absolutely find it so fucking funny. It's when and this is the last thing I'm going to say. Then we're going to get out of here. There's something he says in that show, and it's literally just so you're gonna have time limit draws every single show. You may as well just have a countdown saying countdown till the show's over. Pissing myself. Again, Cornette's very controversial. We know this. Vince Russo is controversial, but also his mind for pro wrestling. Really, people that overrate his booking seriously, the guy's a nut job. But his ideas for women's wrestling, Vince Russo as well, which is even funny. I love the fact that Cornette called him out over his age. He's like, over like Glow when he was 14. He was like, you were 25, you fucking moron.
Also, yeah, and WWE is working now. I can see a lot of backstage talent get pissed off about influence. But then when all that talent jumps to AEW, they'll have people in their way in AEW. What we really need is someone who values wrestling talent.
William Regal.
When someone is making a product and try to make it better, aren't they like 90% of the prototypes didn't work in the past, we're wasting our time? No, but that's not what... So I've asked you several times, what do you actually want from the experimentation? Because all you're saying is what you don't want from people being experimental. I've asked you, when is something experimental?
I'll tell you what isn't experimental.
Is experimental right now?
Nope.
You could argue there's aspects to it that are. Is it setting the seats on fire? Not really.
Zilla just paid his oh fuck's sake. Zilla just paid his parole shit 2 days ago. He posted, so I wouldn't be surprised if he... Zilla Fatu is absolutely a waste of space. He was no showing events. I'm sorry, but well, it wouldn't surprise me. But he's going to get... Jeff Cobb's going to get him first. Jim is funny, but he's a horrible human being. True, but I'm going to respond to this in the worst way, and I'm not defending Jim Cornette, but I'm just going to say this. Who isn't a horrible human being in 2025? Or in this lifetime, who isn't? Like the most, and I've said it before in this channel, the most successful people in the wrestling business are also the biggest dickheads. It's always going to be the case. But reality is, I absolutely love the fact that Jim roasts Vince Russo for some of the stuff he does, but I also like the fact that Vince Russo just raised his blood pressure to the point it explodes. Those two are destined to hate each other for life. It's just funny. And with
cruiserweight division doesn't work in WWE because it didn't work in the past.
It did though.
It didn't work when Vince was booking it, but also it's not experimental to book the cruiserweights better.
Oh, I'd give up.
You know what was kind of experimental? Raw Underground. Did people like that, or did they stop it?
They stopped it.
That's where I'll aim my turn for the week. But as ever, it has been lovely being your part-time main eventer, the one that has brought you all here today, the one that you all love and adore, and the one with Mama Reece written on the weight belt. So thank you very much for allowing me the floor, good sir. But I'm going to have to say goodbye, good night, mwah, and I will catch you next time. Also, I hate that I just fucking did that. See ya.
And that's my co-host. And I'm going to say as well, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. So long. Fuck Bully Ray. And If WWE wants to get better, actually fucking do it properly. How hard can it be? You tell me. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye for now.